Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for day 5 of the World Test Championship final. Australia taking on India. We now know that for this final day, the Indian side will need 280 runs off the 97 overs to win Australia. They are chasing 7 wickets, which they were able to get 3 before the end of day 4. At the moment at the crease, Virat Kohli sitting on 44 off 60 deliveries, looking to bring up yet again another half century for that man. And then also Rahane sitting on 20 off 59. The important thing here for the Indians is to not lose wickets in this first session. Looks like David Warner having a little bit of a chat there with Virat Kohli, maybe about his bat. I know that there was a bit of chatter going back and forth between Steve Smith and Virat Kohli not too long ago. And Ollie Sylvester said, hi, you are also now a member, Ollie. There was some gifted subs on a live stream yesterday from Scott, so that is why you have got those access to the emojis. And also, we let's go Baggy Green, says Michael Gray. And Colin the Aussie says Amelia K. And I think the Aussies will get the win, says Shannon. And how good was that Cameron Green catch? It was a sensational one. Now, of course, there was a lot of controversy around that catch. But for me, I think they need to look at the laws and how it changes, because he originally took it about maybe a foot off the ground and then went down. I felt that, the fingers were very close to the ground with that ball in hand, but it was a good catch from Cam Green, I would say. And also, I just got home from the Storm game, absolute masterclass. We turned the Sharks into goldfish. And also, hello, mate. I don't know if you remember me. I gave weather updates when Australia were playing South Africa at the ECG, says Rahul. I do indeed remember you. That was, tell you what, she was 9 months ago or somewhere around there, I think. It was a little while, but it is good to see you again, Rahul. The moment the sky is blue for this contest, it's going to be an absolutely entertaining day number 5. And Hamish, do you feel at this stage Australia is still favourites to win? Or do you have a chance to chase this down? Well, one benefit that the Indian side has had is they've been scoring at 4 runs and over. Now, doing the maths, they would win if they were able to continue that. But with only 7 wickets in hand, that is the risky side of things. As soon as they lose these 2 batsmen, they are in a little bit more trouble. But day 5, it is going to be Rahane on strike, Scotty Boland. Oh, that one stayed low for the first ball of day 5. And let's go India, says Rahul. I'm excited for this one. This test match, we saw the Indians. They were able to get themselves 296 all out in their first innings. Yeah, a little bit of a cross-seamer from Scotty Boland, or at least it bounced like one anyway. And hello, Hamish. Hoping India can hold on, says Grant. It is good to see you again here, Grant. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I hope it goes down to the final session, although the only bad thing about it going to the final session is it means that it's probably about 3 a.m. here in New Zealand. And the only downside is my ankle is partially cooked. When I was getting off the tram on my way home, my ankle tweaked a little bit. Did you try and get off the tram while moving, Amelia? Or was it just a little bit of a downwards area? I know that, like, as I get older, I get ground shock when you like jump down a step or something. So I know the feeling. And as long as we have Virat, no sweat. See, that's the thing. That man can bring up 200 runs by himself if he can find his momentum, which I feel like he already has found throughout this one. He's not scoring at a slow rate at all. Already 7 fours scored by Virat Kohli. If we get Kohli out, should build some momentum. No, just a little misstep is all, says Amelia. Solid again from Rahane. Defending the third ball from Scotty Boland. 3 dots in a row to start this one off. Gabba repeat, says Rahul. And of course, that was history from the Indian side. This would be the largest total chase down in Test match history as well, if they do manage to do so here, India. So, if there was ever a time to do it, it would be in a World Test Championship final where the world is watching. It's just before the Ashes. The Aussies, of course, want to build their momentum heading into that first game up against England, which is only just around the corner. Will we cover all 3 sessions? I'll be honest, I'm not actually too sure yet. I haven't worked it out. I only decided I was doing this live stream. I really confirmed it at about maybe 4:30 p.m. New Zealand time. And as I get older, you're not even 25 yet, mate. I think I've got the body of about a probably 54-year-old, though. Like, my joints are terrible. I think it is because I've spent the last 3 years sitting on this chair and just doing live streams for like 8-hour stints. I think it's really damaged the body so that I'm quite old. But I sometimes will walk, and that goes all right. Back doesn't hurt too much when I do that. I'm getting up there. Physical age, bit high. Boland, nice delivery, straight drive there from Rahane. He's looking like he's getting it out of the middle of the bat for the early stages. I would love it if we embarrass the Pommies again, says Amelia. I'm interested to know how the baseball side of things goes for England in this one. You look like you're 30, says Coding. I'll take it. 30 is not too bad. I'm a mature individual. I'll take it. 403, India did it against the West Indies back in 1976, says Rahul. Yeah, target of 444. It's a huge task, but I mean, this Indian side have certainly proven in the past that they are willing to dig deep when they need to. Nicely fielded by Nathan Lyon. That will be a maiden for the first over of the day. A lot better than the Australians were yesterday. I know that first couple overs from Pat Cummins ended up going for quite a few. That is a man who is doing the scorebook himself. That is actually something that you see quite often at cricket games. It's the same with the people who have got the commentary in the ear. I know that they give them out relatively cheap at the games. Come on, India, says Jan Lu. In fact, I think we still have a couple from when we went to the MCG quite a while ago. You hear the Indian crowd well and truly in voice. I would have to say that the split at the moment is maybe about 80 or 70% in favour of India. Australia just have that 20 or 30% in attendance. And Kohli must stay in the whole day if they want to win. There's Yarnlu. Yeah, he's going to be hugely important for this one. We just need to get Kohli out because, once he builds momentum, it's not good for us. Although Rahane's another player that will need to be dismissed. He managed to get himself 89 of 129 deliveries in the first inning. So he was actually the top scorer. Next highest was Thakur and then also Jadeja. So two players who haven't actually made their way to the middle yet scored almost 50 runs each. Now Rahane going to be at the non-strikers and Virat Kohli taking the quick single run-out chance. No, he does get through nicely. Well kept by Alex Carey as well. Do you felt crowd chanting green as a cheater yesterday was correct? And what about that catch? I think it was pretty disrespectful from the crowd, to be honest. Normally, I'm pretty impartial, but it's not his fault that they think that he had a finger on the ground. And as a player, he would have felt like he took the catch. So I feel like taking it out on him is just a dick move from the Indian crowd. I'll be honest. Like, at the end of the day, blame the DRS, blame whoever you want out of the umpires, but don't blame the player. Like, he's taken the catch. He doesn't know if a blade of grass has slightly brushed one of his fingertips, does he? Because his hand slammed on the turf. That's all he's felt. So, yeah, booing Cam Green, dick move. That's all I'm going to say. And we're having potato wedges with garlic aioli and a drink of cordial for dinner. Sebastian will come out of his cave when you badmouth the England cricket team, says Grant. And we'll be getting to about the time that Sebastian will be up and about in the morning, I would think. Even though, of course, the man is a vampire, so he stays up all night. They are just showing a little bit of the rough that has been formed. And tell you what, there is plenty of wear and tear around where the batsmen are standing. Perhaps those foot marks, Nathan Lyon might consider himself a little bit lucky already getting one wicket. Was the wicket of Rohit Sharma getting him LBW. Pat Cummins outside of off stump, just straying a little bit too wide. Work down to deep third man, and they will take the 2 runs. Interesting running technique. They're actually running that whole one backwards was Virat Kohli. That's a new tactic we're seeing from the veteran. And I also see been up and about for a few hours already. And good morning, Mango, says Fleshin. I don't know if this... Okay, you're treading lightly. Cricket fans annoy the heck out of me with their arrogance. So that's not racist saying that you think a fan base is arrogant. It's just, I think... It's a very tricky one because some comes across as arrogance that some people would say, but then others comes across as passion. And it's hard to get that kind of balance of who falls into which category. I feel like it's the same with most fan bases. You've got some that you feel are respectful fans and then the others who aren't, And good morning, Mangoes. I do like Mangoes, as you know. And why do people boo the player when it's the umps making the decision, not the player, says Xavier? It's exactly right. It's like if a player scores a try in a game of rugby and gets the ball down, or they think they've got the ball down and it's close, and then the ump or the referee says try. Like, no one boos the player for that. They boo the referee. So I feel like it's pretty rough that Cam Green's going to get booed for the rest of the games that he plays up against an Indian side because of a decision that an umpire made. He says been up and about for a few hours already, says Grant. And yeah, it's correct. The real culprit is Richard Kettleborough, not Green, says Coding. Yeah, I mean, people are going to blame him as well. In my opinion, the rules need change because, like, if that's not considered as a catch, I don't know what is. You know, definitely because he caught it when he was a foot off the ground, and then it's from when he's landed on the ground. Like that ball was never out of his control, and I feel like that is something they should look at rather than does the ball touch the grass. It should be is the ball in control by the player catching the ball. My mum's whispering. Oh, there's my dad here. He's going to be coming in for some commentary, ladies and gents. Oh, what? We'll squeeze on over here, Dad. We'll try and put the green screen down without it falling over. Look at that. That's beautiful. Hello, mate. Is that going to stand up? Yep. It might do. Decent start to the day so far. Couple of decent shots. Ticking the runs over. I'll get you some headphones too, mate. Get you all set up, ready to rumble. You sure?
Here I am.
Hello, my dad's here, ladies and gents. You guys know him. You've seen him before. He was on the stream not too long ago.
Right, what's happening?
Well, made him from bowling to start us off, then about 4 runs off Pat Cummins over.
Okay.
Kohli's 5 away from his half century. Now, what I'm quickly going to do is I'm going to go like this, because I know if I unplug that, it would have been playing the sound, you see. And then the ICC would be like, oh, we're going to get him.
I hear nothing.
Anything now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Hello, Uncle Amish's dad, says Grant. Yeah, my dad, he was on the phone, weren't you? Now you.
Yep. All doesn't work.
Oh, almost chopped onto the stumps there from Rahani. Sorry, I'm getting quite excited.
Yeah, calm down a bit.
Yeah.
It's early in the day.
We've had the fun discussion of Cam Green getting booed by the Indian fan base.
No. It's always going to happen, isn't it?
Mm. I was also saying how I feel like the rules should be changed for catches. Hopefully we.
What? Just not allowed to catch them, or?
No, I think it should be changed so that it is rather than if the ball brushes the grass, it should be if the player's in control of the catch.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many times where they look at it and they go, "Oh, there's a half speck of a grass on that
blade
ball."
Of grass.
Yeah, and then that apparently takes away from everything.
Well, the easiest way is just to cut all the grass.
Just play on dirt.
Just mow it to the ground. There's no grass.
There you go. That's how you fix it, ladies and gents.
Get rid of all the grass.
Get rid of the grass. Amish's dad. Does it look like we're going to get a result? Got 10 minutes between lessons, says Joss. I think at the moment, the way that India are ticking over the runs, with the amount of overs that they've got remaining and the amount of runs that they've already scored, I think at this stage we're looking at either an Aussie or an Indian win. To be honest, like if they continue at that rate, unless they lose a couple wickets and then they go defensive, then that is where we're looking more at the draw.
Yeah. You'd like to think there's still a chance, obviously losing that last wicket last night. It's obviously detrimental to India's hopes, but there's certainly enough time left in the test match. 275, it's a day 5 pitch. Was the pitch doing anything realistic or anything ridiculous compared to what it was doing on the first day?
Not really. One stayed low earlier on from bowling, but that's about it.
So there's not too many huge demons. It's certainly not a spin sideways wicket.
Pushing at that one a bit, Kohli, there, wasn't he? But he's got that style at the moment. How
certainly still looks like he's got intent to looking to win it.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously this first session will be crucial. They can get through this first session without losing any more than probably 1 wicket. Then certainly it's game on. You start getting down to 175 or something like that, 180 odd runs needed in the last 2 sessions.
Bowling now again. Oh, a little bit. No, it's down leg bowling. Calm down.
Yeah.
141k, so he's getting them down there at a decent speed. Hello, dear. Please tell me India and Pakistan better team all format. Says Mono. I mean, India have certainly shown in the past that they have
Are they seriously having to think about this?
Okay, no. They've decided against it. They had to. I mean, that one was probably a stump or 2 down leg, would you say?
Yeah, a couple, I'd say.
And Virat Kohli, the fact that he's advancing as well, so...
Oh, no. That's 3 stumps down leg. Hardly in the same ballpark.
I'm happy with any Aussie player being booed for any reason whatsoever, says Grant.
Yeah. I can understand that.
And Hamish's dad, big question: try or try last night? Wait, is that try or try or no try last night? You called it a try, didn't you?
Obviously, we're talking the Hurricanes game.
Yeah.
Um,
Well played by Coley into the over. 169 for 3.
In all probability, some part of the ball has touched the ground for Adi Savia. Unfortunately, the way the rules are with the referee was completely in the wrong place to see anything. So he's got to call it as a no try because he had no idea. As soon as they call it as a no try, somebody's got to come up with clear evidence that the ball's hit the ground. And with all the replays that they showed and all the rest of it, there was no conclusive proof that, but the likelihood is that the ball did touch the ground at some stage. You know, a rugby ball's this long.
I like, yep, there you go.
A rugby ball's this long, a man's arm's this wide. If you're putting the ball down on an arm, putting the ball down on a hand, at some stage, some of the ball is touching the ground.
Single taken by Rahane.
It's unfortunate, but the reality is that the Hurricanes should have put them away before that. So if you're going to, it's a little bit like professional boxing, professional MMA. If you're going to leave it up to the hands of the referees or the officials, there's going to be times where you get screwed. And unfortunately, that's what happened to the Hurricanes. They had a chance to put it out of the referee's hands just before we got to the controversial try at the end. They left it in the hands of the, well, we're going to say referees. And you end up with what they got, basically. And, you know, there'll be other times during the season where that one goes for them, type thing, depending on where the referee is and what view he gets. A little bit similar to the cricket with the LBW decisions. If the umpire gives it not out, there's a bit of an average chance it's going to stay not out. It's going to stay, not out.
Just looking there, 4% chance of a draw. At the moment, they've got in the predictor a heavy favourite to Aussie.
Yep.
While sitting 88% likely to win this game. Virat Kohli, have they bowled a proper bouncer to him yet? Because I'm seeing that pitch map, they had it everywhere around that halfway line. But maybe, I know he likes a bouncer though, that's the problem. But do you try that?
In the first innings, it was his downfall though, wasn't it? One that got big on him, hit him on the glove.
Good morning from Ireland, says Patrick. Welcome in, mate.
From Ireland?
Yep. Ireland played England in the warm-up game.
And?
For England won comfortably. But that was what England wanted, really. They didn't want to play someone who they were feeling they could, that was a waste of a bouncer from Pat Cummins. Went down the leg side. Rahane decided against going for it. Now, he was the top scorer in the first innings for the Indian side. Got himself 89 runs. And then 2 of the other high scorers are not at the crease yet. That is Jadeja.
Is he the one that Pat Cummins got out off no ball?
Probably.
Yeah, I think he was.
Tell you what, that's the amount of times we've had a no ball recently. In cricket in general is just incredible. Like you mentioned, back in the day, you never saw them. And it's not because they didn't have the technology to call them. It's just people knew be behind the line.
Well, there were still people bowled no balls.
The leave there from Rahane. I think that's the first leave of the day.
I can remember the odd West Indian bowler that used to bowl the odd bloody no ball and things like that. But certainly a lot of those class bowlers didn't bowl no balls. It was just an absolute waste. Bowled an awful lot of overs myself, never bowled a no ball. Couldn't see the point in running all that way. Maybe I was just a lazy cricket. Couldn't see the point in running all that way to bowl a no ball.
No.
My brother, he used to bowl at the other end. He used to bowl the odd no ball. I can remember him getting a wicket off a no ball.
That's better from Pat Cummins. That was not controlled at all. It's going to work for Rahane. He kind of went,
Caught him a little bit by surprise there, didn't it? I suspect he's probably going to get some more now.
That'll be the end of the over, 175 for 3. But that was better from Pat Cummins. Get him. The problem is he's done it to Rahane, though, rather than Kohli. because that's not controlled at all. That's a evade trying to get out of the way, but still.
That was a
Get,
self-defense with the old periscope up.
yeah, see, you don't need to play that. He's played that a good 6 inches above his head.
Yeah.
Should have just been the leave there.
He's just done the duck with the arms coming around to go with it.
I understood more about cricket in the last couple of minutes listening to your dad than I've learned in my life. That just means that my cricket commentary is below par, doesn't it? Because I've done many games. I just realised that Uncle Hamish's dad sounds like Steve Hansen.
Really?
Maybe with the way you're answering the questions could be like that chilled out Kiwi style. Black Caps have any tests coming up? Not for a little while, I don't think.
No.
Who's their next one? I know that we played Sri Lanka as our most recent. I feel like it's got to be someone like it's a Pakistan again for a short series. Oh, is that my mum saying something? She's Googling. Hey, we've got a whole team together for this one.
Yep.
The final day. No one's sleeping in this household tonight.
No, some of us will be at some stage. Someone's got to go to work.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a tip: if you know nothing about the sport and the sport has a video game, then play the video game version. True. I learned a lot of the Super Rugby players from playing Rugby Challenge 4 right back when I started. Bowling, nice straight delivery to Coley, who he does push at the ball a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Which is
he's
normally
keen to get the ball on the bat.
Go to the UAE in August. Is that to play the UAE though? Okay, that's an interesting series. That's a money one. That's what that is. Got a bit of moolah over there, don't they?
Couple of dollars.
Hello, all says Pedza. England in September.
Yep.
Is the next one we have got by the sounds of it. And there's no way the Hurricanes were going to be allowed to win a close game, says Flesh. And the problem is they had their chance. Great drive from Coley, goes straight out to Nathan Lyon. But yeah, they had their chance. All Geordie Barrett needed to do was pass it to Balin Sullivan. And it was an easy run and try. And that is something I've said about the Hurricanes throughout the whole of their season. They're a team of individuals. And unfortunately, yes, you're going to have some highlights and you're going to stack up the tries such as a Kini Naholo. But when push comes to shove in a close game, when it matters, if you're looking at your own stats rather than the team, that's when you're going to really find your downfall.
It's
and that's
about
what
making
happened.
that right decision, isn't it?
And that's where, like we mentioned earlier on today, we were talking about it. That's where someone like a Conrad Smith, like you never saw him getting greedy in a pressure situation, did you?
No.
It was always get that ball away because the vision is the more important part. You know, you can run it straight all day, but if you can run it straight where there's no defender, it's a lot easier.
Does get a bit easier.
That's a little bit of movement there from Boland off the seam.
Come in a wee bit.
I still got another 35 or so overs with. Yeah, that was a bit close. The way that one came back in. And there's a lot of possible bad weather this afternoon. What does it look like at the moment? It's clear sky, but some people put it on sunscreen, which is good news because normally that means it should be out for a little bit longer, but it's English weather, so it's always hard to tell. It can change instantly.
Well, it's actually amazing that this is the 5th day and we haven't actually had any rain affect it for England.
And as the world's biggest Stormers fan joining her family on the stream, says Grant, she is off to the side. She was very happy with the Western Province performance last night, of course. She didn't even know the result, I bet you, if I asked her. I looked at the comments on the Instagram post from the Canes and 75% called Geordie selfish. And probably the other 25% thought it was a try. So, yeah, it's one of those ones that, like, there are moments in games that can either cost you or they can help you win it. And Geordie Barrett now, I mean, a lot of people will be questioning, because beforehand, everyone was thinking Geordie 12, Rico 13, midfield combo. But now people will be looking at that game going, Geordie under pressure, all of a sudden just crumbled. He hasn't been kicking well either, so that's something that they might not even consider as an option.
That was his bloody little extra boost, wasn't it? Was the fact that he could kick.
So now, 12-wise, who are you looking at? Are you looking at, I mean, like Goodhue? I don't know whether or not he's been up to par. Like, he's been all right, but I don't know if he's quite there at the moment. Anton Leonard-Brown, he's been playing more 13 because they've had Rameka Poihipi on the inside. You're looking at someone like I don't even know who they go 12 now. I'm thinking through other sides. 12, I mean, two of us are Sheiks not playing anymore for the Blues at 12. You got Harry Plummer, who's only a switch in, switch out kind of guy. Bryce Heamey's only had like 2 games there.
Yeah, no.
Nana Laumape, he's overseas. So, yeah, they've got a bit of a gap there at 12. Nice and solid from Coley again.
I'm getting blamed for the weather in England, I think.
Hmm?
It rained here in an age, but now it's fixed it.
Will New Zealand be a good host for the World Test Championship final? New Zealand conditions
this one up here
are decent. Oh, what's your old man's thoughts on who might win?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a draw myself. The TAB were paying quite good odds for a draw, so I'm hoping for a draw. It's very hard to try and pick a winner out of these two. Well, it's very hard.
Solid.
It's very hard to pick Australia because they are Australia. It's also quite hard to pick India because they are India. Of the two teams you're sort of reluctant to support, then these two are probably it. Although Australia are a very good side.
Yep.
And I have a huge amount of respect for the Australian bowling lineup. Simply because they just put the ball on the spot right from the start. Pressure, 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 no loose balls. Certainly their pace attack and...
Oh! Sorry.
Calm down. It's a bit high.
That one came back in a bit. Hit him on the pad.
And Nathan Lyons is a class spinner and will always get picked in the team. So even on non-spinning wickets, he'll manufacture a wicket somewhere. So, as much as I hate to say it, out of the two, I'd probably prefer Australia to win, but I don't know whether I could stand them going on without being the greatest for 12 months. Right.
Fair enough. Someone said about Rami Kapoya. I honestly think Rami Kapoya's had a pretty solid season. It's just whether or not they want to take that risk with him, because the other option, I know it's not really on the cards at the moment, but if Geordie Barrett can't do the job at 12, is there any... No. I was going to say, is there any chance they might switch up that back line and put like a Bowden Barrett at 12? But then I don't think the crash ball would work. You need someone big, like Faina Nuku, but he's going overseas, so I don't even know if he's eligible for selection. Someone said Anton Leonard-Brown at 12, Billy Proctor at 13, and Rico on the wing, says Grant. It's a decent shout. Cameron Green will make the difference today, says Hero. And someone who would have made the difference as well for the Aussies, I should mention, Josh Hazelwood. Massive hit for them not having him available for this game, because he's another one. When you were mentioning about that Australian bowling attack for a guy who's just going to go all day, same spot, make the batsman play every once in a while.
They find the spot and they find the length that troubles the batsman, and then they have the ability just to keep hitting it. And that's what makes them so good. There's no free balls, there's no free hits. They find that annoying length. They find where the pitch is, and they read that reasonably quickly, and then they just pepper it. Sooner or later, you'll get a ball or do something slightly different.
A little bit shorter from Cummins.
Yeah, a little bit shorter, but
Coley, he got it on the gloves. He didn't have control of that, but now he moves to 49.
Yeah. I think Coley's the key here.
This partnership
he's
in general.
Very much a grit and determination sort of a guy. He's proved that over the years when they've tried to sledge him, all those sorts of things, and get under his skin. He just digs in and goes, screw you, I'll score 100, and then I'll tell you about how good I am afterwards.
Well, that is the thing. He's done so much in his career already. So he's looking for new challenges, things that he hasn't been able to do before. Because as a batsman at this level, you want to test yourself. So to be told you have to try and chase down the highest test total ever for a World Test Championship final, he goes, yeah, okay, fair enough.
A personal challenge.
Yep, that'll do. Add that to the resume.
We'll have a crack at that.
The big question is, can they find that ball to get him? And I think it's the short ball, but they haven't gone to it too often, whether or not they are waiting. Oh, sorry, that was very loud. I didn't mean to be so loud, but that was a peach of a ball. And Australia think there might have been a little edge on this one. Cole playing with the poker face. Pat Cummins coming in. My voice thought there was something on it. Labuschagne thought he heard something. They're going upstairs.
Wow.
Coley on 49. How many reviews have they got? The DRS success, they were on 26% for the World Test Championship so far. So there's
This
only a
will
quarter
be
of a
an
chance here.
absolute peach of a call by Marnus if this proves to be out.
Yeah. Well, I thought there was I thought I saw a little bit of deviation, but I think that was just a swing. Because I don't react. Well, I
Here we
do
go, here we
react
go,
like
here we
that
go.
every ball. How close was this? Over at Coley. Tell you what, you're gonna have to have quite a bit of the back of the bat on that one because that looked like it went quite close.
Only slide off the face.
This part, yeah, no. No edge for Virat Kohli. Stays out there at the crease. And hi, lads. Thomas Umunga Jensen will be a big crashing centre for the ABs. I think he'd actually go all right, Thomas Umunga Jensen. The problem they've got at the moment is they've got so many players who would be considered green, haven't they?
Yep.
How they just haven't had that chance. And to throw them in now before a World Cup is a very tough one to be able to do. And the French can't play rugby either. Giannis just thought he'd throw that in while he was at it.
Except against the All Blacks.
The first game of the World Cup,
In the quarterfinals or the semi-finals. Yeah. Then they decide that they want to actually play.
Okay, still 2 reviews remaining for both of these sides. So it was, in a way, you'd say worth the risk.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, when we get later in the day.
And they've run out of reviews.
It was a peach of a ball, wasn't it? Although saying that, Coley made it look like a better ball than it was.
He did push out at it. He's keen.
He's smiling about it.
Yeah.
Look at his lips. See, that's the thing. That pushing style is exactly what you would tell a young player not to do. That's the big thing. But he's still on 49 here. 4 balls remaining of the Boland over. He has picked up 1 wicket so far. Oh, that's an edge and it's taken by Steve Smith. Coley's gone on 49. And that is a big moment in this test match, ladies and gentlemen, because that now means that we're going to get another batsman. It's going to be Bharat who makes his way to the crease. But Coley, that is certainly something he doesn't want to add to his resume. Dismissed on 49 in a World Test Championship final. Diving catch from Smith. But Boland. Oh, there was a bit. He just pushed once again. We mentioned it. Great catch from Steve Smith in the cordon. Great work from him. Virat Kohli dismissed 49 of 78 deliveries. Pushed at it. Was too keen to try and get that 50. What a catch from Smith. Great rolling from Boland. Smith got Kohli, says Amelia. I think you were a little bit ahead, Amelia, looking at that with how early you had Kohli go. Be sure to wait that little bit longer just so that we can react to it. What a catch from Smith. And have any of you two played indoor cricket? It was fun years ago, unless you filled up the front, obviously. I sadly haven't. It looks like something that would be absolutely awesome to play, but there's just nowhere to play it here.
No. We used to play it when we were younger. Yeah, used to travel down to Oamaru, which is about half an hour away. Back in the good old days, 8 people in a team, 8 people in a car, 4 in the front, 4 in the back, off to indoor cricket.
How big were your cars?
Trust the old Holdens. That was awesome. We used to have a lot of fun. In the Oamaru competition, used to leave at the same time every week, regardless of whether we had an early game or a late game. If we had a late game, we went to the pub first. If we had an early game, then we had to wait until after we played to go to the pub. So either way, we got home about the same time each time. Eventually, they worked out that we weren't quite as effective if we had a late game because we'd been at the pub for 2 hours before we played. But
that pub would have been making plenty of moolah, wouldn't it?
No, it used to be a good wee pub on the way down. Yep.
Have your dad played some cricket and rugby? You've actually played a bit of both. More recently, cricket.
Yep.
Right, Jadeja now at the middle. Yet to bat. I'm just looking through at okay, no, they put him up real early. I was going to say, looking through at the next to bat, he wasn't on that list. Damien has given his back line.
Because he's in.
A few Chiefs in there by the looks of it. Actually, a majority of Chiefs. That side. Now Boland to Jadeja. Leaves that first one. And it's quiet, then something happens, Hamish just explodes into life, says Pads ablaze. But yeah, seemed like it was coming at some stage. With, like, don't get me wrong, Virat Kohli, brilliant batsman, but it showed you can't afford to push at that ball. Because if you push and you're too far out in front of you, it's a great catch, though, from Steve Smith, isn't it?
That was a good catch.
He always dives more dramatically than required, but that one, I think it deserved a dive. I remember there was one that he took, how he did a massive dive after catching the ball. Kind of caught it and then went, oh, it's an edge! Jadeja's gone!
Oh, no!
Fallen 2 in a row almost for him, and that is the massive wicket. Jadeja getting close to that 50, or I think he might have just got the 50 in the first innings. Now bowling, he's managed to find his line, and Scotty B at the Oval this time rather than the MCG has got himself 3 for. Does your dad remember Bruce Anderson, driver of the Pine Pack Mustang, Bathurst 1985? Kiwi gamer. Bang, bang. This is a bad there. Massive blow to India chances now. This is Australia's World Test Championship title, and enjoy that. Jadeja says nearly okay. Okay. She is Australian, so now she's starting to rip into them by a little bit.
Back in the old days, there used to be a wee duck followed across behind them going quack, quack, quack.
That guy's only just ridden down Jadeja, and now he's got to put him out. 265 runs still remaining. Now you question whether or not this is the moment where India start to slow down. Do you start to look for the draw yet, or do you just see what you can do? Because, I mean, that one, he just pushed at it as well. Outside off stump. That is the benefit of Scotty bowling. He's about to get himself a double wicket maiden here. Because he just puts that ball right up there in the spot, like you mentioned. Make you play at it. Don't know whether to go forward or back, and then that's when they get those little edges. Now it's gone from India need 265 runs to win to now Australia need 5 wickets to win.
I think the more likely scenario now is that Australia will get 5 wickets before India get 260 runs.
And the great news is me and Dad are going to be here for all 5 of them, aren't we?
If they keep falling as quickly as those last 2 did, then yeah, we might be.
Yeah, well, we've still got another hour and a half for this session.
That's a bit sad.
Just looking through. Barat and Tucker, you'd have to say, are the last of the... Oh, yeah, Dove's not bad with a bat, but the last 2 batsmen, I would say, is going to be Barat and Tucker.
I don't think they're bat 2 session people.
Scotty bowling, though.
So they have to steady the ship here.
How bad was Hazelwood's injury? He was going to be in for the Ashes, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Because now, I mean, bowling's saying, I'm good in English conditions. Why don't you bowl me? Got about 4 sixes, another edge has gone over the top of Warner, and it's going to be 4 runs of the first delivery. Almost had 3 in the over bowling. End of it though. Warner, he just wishes that he grew a little bit more as a teenager, and he would have had that one. 183 for 5, quite a hectic over, would you say?
Once again,
right place.
First ball
on the money.
Right on the money. Huh?
How high did this go? Warner reacted late, I thought.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh, off the glove.
It was late, yeah.
Yeah. I want to see that from a side angle to see how high it went over.
That ball actually got up reasonably quickly, didn't
it? Popped off the surface.
Off the pitch.
Well, that's an over that can change a test match.
Very busy over.
You know?
See, look, there's 4 or 5, well, counting Rahana, you got 5 Indians have all made a start.
Yeah.
They've all made a start. They've got through that initial 10-run period. So top quality batsmen, when they get through that 10-run period, you expect them to go on.
Yeah.
We've got no 50s, and you've got 5 guys that have got a good start.
Here's a question for you. Is that just an India side thing, or is that something to expect throughout the Ashes series?
Oh, I think it's something to expect during the Ashes. Top quality batsmen get past 10. They've done the hard work. Once they get past 10, they should be in, and then you start making runs.
Yeah. I think Australia are going to win this Test match final, says Patrick, and also India fall like flies. It's the same collapse India had on the last day versus New Zealand on previous World Test Championship final, says Coding, and shoestring fries at midnight. I don't think I'll have room for shoestrings at midnight. I had quite a big tea, which was good. It did involve chips. Ooh. Ooh, very late from Barat there to play that.
Yeah. They're,
Pushing at that.
they're starting to get a little bit scared now, or a little bit bloody apprehensive about playing.
Yeah, hesitancy,
So
isn't
he
it?
didn't have to play that one,
No.
Coley.
But
Um,
when you're a top quality batsman, you think that you can, don't you? That was a good ball.
and he probably didn't have to play that one either, in all honesty. But he's gone at it quite hard
Well,
for, for his second ball.
You look at Barat there, that might have been the only thing that saved him was the fact that he did push at it quite banging at it rather than just slightly feathering.
Although, to be fair, I think that ball probably jumped a wee bit more because it come up quite steep, even with Boland's height. But
India in a bit of trouble here, says Fleshing, and what the funky monkey just happened. A drop off for 10 minutes and India lose 2 wickets, says Grant, and 2 big wickets, Kohli and Jadeja.
Don't you be going away again, Grant.
No, India will want you to stay for the rest of this one. Now, Pat Cummins, this is where he starts to shine. Okay, he's run in and he's dead ball.
Full start.
Because this is when he starts to find his line when other bowlers are taking the wickets.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Mitchell Starc, the crazy thing is, at the moment, you'd put Hazelwood in over Starc, I believe.
Yeah.
Stark's been doing well with the bat, though, which is one benefit you've got. But Boland, how do you drop that man from the side when he's bowling the way he is?
He's got a pretty reasonable sort of a batting lineup, though. You can afford to lose a bowler who bats.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit fuller, so he started chasing it.
Yep.
Carrot country. Was gone.
Aye.
He's actually the only batsman that I see actually having a towel on him.
Didn't have to play that. That was the money. He got lured in.
India will be sweating like a gypsy with a mortgage, says Jason. Yeah, we say it because he said it. Oh, sorry. Hit him in the helmet there.
Just calm.
This is because I've had a recent season where I actually played cricket. So now I've got that bug back, of being out on the field. Because back when I played cricket the first time, you can attest to this. I said no words. I would be quiet. I would say nothing. Sit there, ready to get the ball when it came to me. But now I just don't shut up.
Well,
and it's beneficial. Beneficial.
Like that at home too.
Yeah. But that's hit him hard, isn't it? Back of the helmet. And you know that's exactly where the next one's going.
It didn't actually bounce as much as you'd hoped.
What are we looking at, Snicko? Yes, we know it hit him in the head.
Look at that.
That's some...
Ultra Edge said, yep, let's hit something.
Got him good. Bowling bowls like Glenn McGrath like length all the time.
Yeah.
Says Kodak. That's the thing. Australia's got a strong bowling side. When that man's been kept out of the team for so long because they've been going so well. Like, he's been tearing it up in the Aussie domestic competitions. Yep. BBL, he was a fantastic bowler not too long ago for the Hobart Hurricanes.
Yep.
And he's the perfect example of a guy who's, he's very humble. Like, he's just sat there and gone, if I get the chance, I get the chance. If I don't, then I just love playing cricket.
Unfortunately, that's the scenario that is Australian cricket, isn't it? Is that you have to just keep toiling and keep shining at, Sheffield Shield level and bloody domestic cricket level and all the rest of it. And then finally, if you're lucky enough, whether through injury or whether through just chance, you get a crack, and then you've got to make the most of it.
Well, that was
look at Mike Hussey, one of the greatest bloody Aussie batsmen. Took him 3/4 of his career to actually get in the Australian team.
Here's one for you. Look at Marnus Labuschagne. He was only added in because of Steve Smith getting in the head from Jofra Archer. They had to bring in a batsman similar to Smith. Yep. How long would it have been until Labuschagne got the chance had that not happened? Because he took that number 3 jersey and he said, yep, that's mine. I'm number 3 in your batting order, because he played that well up against the tough bowler in Archer, because he was going for the bounce as well. He got hit with about 2 balls in that innings.
Yep.
But he kept going and then managed to get himself a decent total. And then from there, he's been in there ever since.
Rock solid.
Yep. So, in a way, good job, Steve Smith.
You have to take those chances in Australia.
Yeah.
Otherwise, someone else does.
Well, you look at their openers. Joe Burns unable to take the chance of opening for them. There's the list can go on really for the Aussie openers that they've had until once again Kawaja just working away slowly behind the scenes.
Comes back for an injury or what he
Mhm.
bang, scores 200s. Said, right, drop me now.
Good over from Boland, only the one leg buy off it. Economically very solid. See, Mitchell Stark bowled 7 overs and went for 45 runs and didn't get a wicket. I want to just quickly check the first innings as well because I don't think it was much better for him. 2 wickets, 71 runs. Okay, so an economy of over 5, but he still managed to get himself a few. Whereas Boland, I mean, his economy is very strong, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
He got Sami at the end.
And I think he got an Virat Kohli. That's a big one to get. But yeah, Scotty Boland, whether it's a tailwinder or an opening batsman, he's right on the money and puts them under insane early pressure.
Right.
Here he comes again, Scotty Boland. I actually said that it was a maiden or a over last time from him. It was actually Pat Cummins. Had the one leg buy off him. I lied.
We won't hold it against you.
You're actually, oh no, you've got headphones on.
Only on one side.
I was about to say the commentary side are just saying that the reason he so often gets 2 wickets in the same over is because, like you mentioned, that follow-up ball not giving the batsman a breather.
I give him a look
for that first delivery. 5 wickets needed though for the Australians. Currently an hour and 15 remaining of this session. How many, if India per se were, I assume 8 they wouldn't, but if they were 9 wickets down, you think they would extend this session? Or good throw from Marnus. If they were 8 down, would they? I don't think they would they?
Not if they're 8 down.
No. Still got Rahane at the crease, so we need to remember though, that man can bat. And as long as he's got someone with him, like this could go quite deep. It's a great throw.
I'm not sure why that guy's so keen to get down the other end there.
No. He's the wicket keeper, so he can bat.
Not really looking for a run out in a test match when you're 5 down on the last day.
Who was it? It was South Africa, wasn't it? How they were finally looking like they were going to have an opening partnership for the first time in about 2 years. And then Elgar ended up running the other guy out. Or, no, Elgar got run out, I think, and then...
Shit.
Bavoom is the worst between the wickets when it comes to running people out. Oh, slower ball here from Boland. Gets him deep in the crease. Cold not out down leg side, you're thinking?
Yep. Not out.
Pat Cummins is keen.
No, he's running back in.
I feel like at best umpire's cool. At absolute best. Height-wise, he wants it.
He's going for it.
So you saying not out straight away?
I'm saying not out.
Are you going... Height was fine, I think, wasn't it? It didn't seem like it got up that much. It almost halfway duffed.
I think it's in leg.
Okay. I'm thinking umpire's cool. Hitting the leg stump.
Hitting the leg stump.
Just, like, by the smidgen. Right. Just looking at where Rahane's standing, he does like to shuffle to the off stump a little bit, you see. Oh, okay. So
I think it's almost too high.
Height, Not out, says Damien McKenzie, 100 cap. He hasn't edged it. That's one good thing that we've got right. Quite deep in his crease, though.
Top of the pad on the front.
Isn't he?
Top of the pad on the front line. It's going over.
Probably umpire's call at best height-wise as well, isn't it? Oh, that's taken off a bit. Yeah.
Doesn't like it.
Height-wise, I think it's just... It would just clip the bail for height. No?
Oh, mine for...
If it's lucky, but...
It was missing the stumps.
Missing the stumps. Down leg.
Poor review.
That's why I'm not an umpire. We'll have to get you umpiring some of our games, won't we?
He's just getting a little bit of seam movement, so it's pretty...
I only got 1 review remaining.
Yeah.
That's changed a bit, hasn't it?
Yep.
And they're going to win by 2 balls. Tell you what, that would be a thrilling end, wouldn't it? Late shuffle towards that ball for Rahane. Try and play everything under the eye line. Just talking about the setup. And hit a 4 to win, says Damien McKenzie. It's just we get a seam change from Scotty Boland. Hey, so they were saying it was going to be an away swinger, but then also a little bit of seam away. It's a good ball, isn't it? It's going to take the single there, Rahane. And his run sticking over. That is also important. He can't get tied down at one end here because then
No.
eventually the Aussies normally
No.
find that ball, don't they? Just pushing at that one a little bit too much.
That's a long way away from him.
It's that awkward length that, to use a reference, cricket 19, it's that length where it's a wide, but it's pitched back a little bit further. So you don't know whether or not you're
Smashing it
really
down the
having a
ground
swing.
or not.
Mm. You don't know if you cover driving or cross batting.
Mm.
It's probably the better example there. And he kind of did a bit of both. Scotty Boland.
Ooh,
That one came back in.
That one was coming in.
And you can tell that the Australians in the field at the moment, they're feeling something's just around the corner again. The amount of slips that they've got on, I think they've got about 4 for Barat. He will retain the strike for the next over. Quite incredible looking at all those pitches, isn't it?
All the practice wickets.
Yeah, that they've been preparing. That's the only ground that's got it to that extent in England, isn't it? Or the likes of Lords, you're not seeing that, are you? I think they're a drop-in pitch at Lords, or
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I mean, it seems to be the way they do it in England. Maybe it's because they haven't got the space around their cricket grounds for the practice setup. I'm just trying to think.
listening closely to see if anyone's booing green. I can't hear anyone at the moment. And to be honest, I prefer cricket 19 over cricket 22 simply because of the after touch BS, and that I can't take wickets for yeah, it's tricky. Sometimes I know that we sometimes will just set up a test match and just bowl for hours and hours. Bouncer from Cam Green to start us off.
That didn't look that quick.
No, and didn't really get
Seemed
up.
like a real sort of a tired loosener.
Laboured.
Yeah. Oh, boo, boo, boo.
Lol, says Damien McKenzie under cap. Did you know Scott yesterday gifted 10 members to the channel? You know what that means? I didn't know what it meant either till I looked. So pretty much he gifted, the Kiwi lads little emojis and whatnot, and the ability to access all that stuff. He gifted 10 of those to random people.
Huh.
So Brandon got one, Brandon?
Oh, yeah.
So he managed to get one. Ollie got one as well. I think Gareth ended up with one. So random people ended up with the emojis available. That was a good ball coming back in, wasn't it? I think bowling, it's hard to tell whether he likes bowling to right or left-handers better, because with a ball like that, I mean, left-handers should probably watch out. Great test match, says Kwasi.
He's got the ability to make it go both ways, which makes him dangerous.
Question here is, how many more overs do you give Cummins at the other end, or is it no? They switched out Cummins.
Has changed this end.
How many do you give Boland before you go back to someone like a Stark here? Because this ball's in the mid phase, isn't it? But you're still 30 away from a new ball.
How's their time go?
Currently, we've got another hour and 8 minutes of this session. Okay. So, bit of time. I hope you are doing well, Kwasi. When South Africa playing their next test, I wonder? They'll be a little bit similar to New Zealand, probably, around that later stage. Justin Langer got himself a job as a commentator because Aussie sacked him. Nice ball from Cam Green. And that's tough. When you got bowling from one end, just repeatedly putting it in the right spot, and then you've got Cam Green, who can be a little bit loose at times, but when he gets it right.
You get rid of Pat Cummins, you think, beauty, right, now we've got a reprieve, and then you get the next one. And he puts the ball on the spot.
Kwasi, brother, how you doing, says Grant. Kwasi has said, why don't Kiwis praise their test team? They are excellent, says Kwasi. I honestly think this is not to sound at all like not arrogant or anything along those lines, but I think it's just because Kiwis are a little bit too almost laid back / like a lot of Kiwis are pretty humble about their cricket side, aren't they? In terms of like the Black Caps are a great team, but like they don't go around telling everyone they're great. They just go, yep, decent. Like almost soft-spoken type thing.
Well, we've sort of, for a lot of years, our cricket team has always been sort of halfway competitive, but never world beaters.
Mm.
In the last few years, our cricket team has actually got to the point where they can compete with the big guns and all the rest of it. Similar to what we sort of come into a wee bit when we had Sir Richard Hadley as our strike force in the bowling attack. In the 80s, we had a really, really what you call a good team by New Zealand standards.
Mm.
And then it sort of not so much fell off a bit, but we had a lot of teams of good players, but we never sort of had those really, really outstanding guys. Now we've got a competitive team. It's starting to it's the next era that's coming through that'll be the big thing, because we're going to lose. Well, effectively, we've lost Trent Boult now.
Yeah.
He's sort of all but retired from top level cricket for New Zealand as such. Tim Southey is starting to get towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
Type thing. And we've relied on those guys to spearhead our bowling attack so long. So it's what we do now, what we've got coming through. It's the depth side of it. The batting side of it, not quite so bad. We get a lot of imports from South Africa, who tend to go pretty well in New Zealand conditions and make their way into the team. And that's evident with who we've got in the team and who we've had in the team in the past. But it's what we do for that spearhead opening bowling attack that's going to sort of set the scene for how New Zealand cricket goes in the coming years. We had Kyle Jamieson burst onto the scene and all the rest of it, but unfortunately he's injury prone and can't seem to get back to full fitness for any extended period of time. And the spinning side of it, well, New Zealand traditionally doesn't have spinning wickets, so we tend to lose our spinners.
Or when we have a spinner who gets 10 wickets in an innings, we drop them.
Yeah, because the next wicket's not conducive to spin. And I say, he's basically sort of out of it now too, unfortunately. But, because he told everybody that he was pissed off that he got 10 wickets and didn't get to play anymore.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that, are you? You're not allowed to have feelings as a player.
No, you're not allowed to tell him that maybe you were a good selection. Losing Shane Bond, you see, another brilliant young bowler and all the rest of it, young fast bowler, but unfortunately became injury prone and shortened his career up. Unfortunately, Lockie Ferguson is another one that has injury trouble. Brilliant when they're fully fit, but it's keeping them fully fit for a long enough period of time that they can become the top level bowler. And that's the big thing with fast bowlers, is the attrition rate of them. Sir Richard Hadley, way back in the day, used to come in off a great big long run-up. Heavily criticised for shortening his run-up, but openly admits that's what actually made him a better bowler and prolonged his career, was the fact that he did shorten his run-up and did a lot more with the ball, as opposed to just trying to bowl flat out fast. Some people's bodies are made to allow them to bowl fast for a long period of time. Others break, unfortunately. New Zealand conditions seem to lead themselves more to people getting broken, whether it's because the wickets aren't as quick, so the bowlers try harder to produce that extra pace, which puts more strain on the body, as opposed to, say, the likes of Australia or the West Indies and that, where traditionally they have fast pitches, where you probably don't have to try and generate that extra bit of speed to bowl quick. But it's sort of sad from a New Zealand point of view that we don't get to see. That's what was marvellous about getting a couple of series against Australia, because we haven't actually played any series against Australia, certainly in New Zealand. For a long time. You were probably about a young kid when we went to the last one, when Michael Clark and co were playing. But we don't get to see these bloody, great fast bowlers in action for a long period of time.
Speaking of fast bowlers, Mitchell Starc back into the attack. So I can give Boland a little bit of a spell, but he's been very expensive, Mitchell Starc, so far. But he did pick up that big wicket of Virat Kohli in the first innings. Got Shami too. Had to bring up his half century without a wicket, though. Australia deserving champions. This team is seriously spineless. Like, where's the fight in the crunch, says Rahul. Unfortunately, I think the crunch in the fight was in Virat Kohli, but unfortunately, he just came out today. I don't think he was playing it that far out in front of him yesterday. Oh, it was close to the back. A little bit of a periscope there. But the problem that they've got here is when you're facing an Australian bowling lineup, there's just, you can hang in there, you can play your shots, but unfortunately, they're still going to bowl you that one good ball and over that if you make a little mistake, you're gone. And Boland's the perfect example of that. Like Jadeja, don't get me wrong, if he had somehow managed to evade that ball and got himself in, got a few runs, maybe we could have seen them bringing up 50, bringing up 100. But because Boland was right on him straight away, giving him no shot at being able to get himself in, he just had nowhere to go pretty much, didn't he?
Yep. And you're saying about Mitchell Starc being expensive. Mitchell Starc can be expensive. He can be a little bit erratic. But every now and then, you'll buy that absolute pearler of a ball.
Yep.
And he gets a wicket. So when you think that you're starting to get a spell, when you've got away from these other ones and survived these other ones, all of a sudden you've got Mitchell Starc, and yet you might get a couple of boundaries and you might get a few runs.
Ooh, that's come off the surface.
I thought he'd hit that. I thought he'd hit that.
Straight up, isn't it?
You know, you might take Mitchell Starc for a few runs and all the rest of it, but he's got that ability to get that wicket-taking ball.
That's bounced a good foot higher than it should have.
Yeah, he's actually missed that by a mile in the long run.
It's quite funny because while you were talking about the older the bowlers and the fast bowlers, I've noticed that my eyebrows, every ball in my mouth kind of goes like this, that we don't commentate. Oh, he stepped across his crease badly there. And they kind of, like, my face keeps on doing little reactions of like, oh, when you were talking.
He had to hit that.
And the last time New Zealand beat Australia in a series, Hamish was touching koalas, says Grant. I made the mistake of showing them that picture of me with the koala, you know, the one that that was actually, you helped me up to the level to be able to touch the koala, didn't you? I was touching his back.
What a dog.
Could I have gotten chlamydia from that? Like, theoretically?
I have no idea.
Surely, no, that's more through, that's like through fluids, isn't it? So
surely.
I'd like to think not, unless I pissed on the koala, which I don't think you're allowed to do, are you? Probably frown upon that.
I think that's right out of the park for that. Yeah.
India always choking the playoffs, says Ali. And fast bowling is hard work. A long fast bowling career is an exception, not the norm. Well, that's the thing. Mark Wood for England has been very good recently because he's had little injuries and whatnot, but he just keeps going.
He only bowls 4 overs in a spell, though. Oh
no, he's a little bit. He's a bit of the exception. I find that throughout, was it the series up against who did they play about 6 months ago? Like, he had about an 8 over spell and he was still going 140. Like, they seem to work him into the ground, but he's willing to put in that. Like, I think he busted his toes through his shoes and just kept running in. Oh, nice working close from Travis Head. Looks like the teacher that you saw in the fish and chip shop, I think.
True.
Yep. A little bit.
Mr. Shoe, you reckon?
A little bit.
No.
Mr. Stash at the moment, Travis Head. He's got the caterpillar on the lip. You did lick the koala, Hamish. I don't remember doing such a thing. I hope. Oh, bit of a drive there on the front foot. Barak gets it away to the boundary. His second of the day, of course, that first edge that he got away off the very first delivery he faced. Guys, secretary out.
That was a good looking shot. Coley should have played that shot.
Hamish hissed on a koala and licked it. Says Pads ablaze. There you go.
Where do we get this fella from?
Where do we get them all from?
He's been watching too many of them funny videos.
I don't expect too much from them playing at home also for the World Cup. They just don't have the spirit to hold on and crunch one and when it matters. Rahul Dravid isn't a great fit for the team, says Rahul. And I think the hardest thing for India is because they've got such a large population and such a following for their cricket team, it's so hard to pick 11 guys of a whole nation to lead them in a game of cricket, isn't it? Because
that's the trouble. You see, you're going to take 100 down to 11.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. And then from there, if one of those 11 play badly, he goes down to about 1,050th in the order to be able to get back into the side, unless he has some sensational IPL form.
See you in 3 years.
Yep. Yeah. So it's brutal. It's if you get it right, you're out there. But as soon as you go wrong, that's why Virat Kohli. I know that some people like to say maybe he's getting towards the end of his cricketing spell, but like the fact that for so long that man's been able to be in the side, not really be dropped as of too much anyway.
Too scared to drop him and assassinate the whole lot.
He's got a lot of power, doesn't he?
Oh, hey?
I know that he did like a sponsored ad on Instagram, and I think he got paid like $4 million for it.
He's a god.
King Kohli.
Oh,
Eh?
King Kohli. You assassinate a lot of them.
If you've never busted the nail on your big toe, then you're not a fast bowler, says Grant. Oh, yeah, that's the worst feeling. Or I had blister. I blistered the whole side of the big toe down there. But
fast bowling.
I'm spin bowling, mate.
You get around the front of your toe, you're going a bit quicker.
I might have just no. Might have
I'm hearing him though. I know what he's saying.
It might have been from batting instead. Actually, I just bowled a couple overs in that game.
You're going to get that feet sliding right up the front of the boot.
And I know that's a horrible image you put out there, says Fleshin. And then also Grant has said, to be fair, Hamish did the deed, so it's his fault. Country of Zimbabwe produced a lot of cricketers. The Gronholm, Gary Balance, Brandon Taylor are the Flower brothers. Says Kwasi. Yeah, I feel like Zimbabwe is one of those places that are underrated in terms of the talent that they have had in the past. Like, because so many of their players go overseas. Same.
A little bit like Bay of Plenty in the rugby in New Zealand.
I was going to say same like South Africa when they give the Kiwis their players. Because
well, they're just trying to keep the cricketing world even, you see.
That's fair enough. It's quite nice of them.
Yeah.
I just said I've listed down there title of Hamish's sex tape. I feel it's just, a big distraction. There is no need for it. It's hard for cricketers to switch from T20 to Test format. Meanwhile, Australia rested key players and prepared well, says Rahul. Although it's a tricky one to say, isn't it? Because the IPL, it's a brilliant way for these players to get paid for their hard work, if that makes sense. Because don't get me wrong, you get paid well as a Test match cricketer, but like the IPL, some of the money that gets thrown around for them, like look at Cam Green. He was just playing a little bit of Test match cricket, and then he got offered like 2.8 million Australian dollars in the IPL, and that's a lot of money.
Cole Jamison.
Yep, changes the cricketer's life. So I like the fact that it's a competition because it can do that for players. It's kind of similar to what we see for the Japanese top league in rugby, the Southern Hemisphere players, how they go up there, they get themselves a really good contract. Faiana Nuku, he said he's heading to France. He said his goal was never to become an All Black. It was to provide for his family. So he's going over to France, even if the All Blacks are calling, because that was his goal. He wants to go overseas, get the money. And I mean, if you've got that ability to be able to do so, you got to do it. Pat Cummins, he's made a lot of money off the IPL because just like playing well in Test matches, people go straight away, you're going to be a short format cricketer as well. Pat Cummins has a YouTube channel, fun fact.
He does.
Yeah, he has a lot more subscribers than us.
Anyway.
Some fast bowlers cut a hole in the leading shoe. They do. Sometimes they have just the toe sticking out.
Yep.
Oh, I was going to be mean, but I didn't do it.
It's an absolute treat until someone smacks the ball straight back at you.
Yep. Well, Pat Cummins, one of the first balls of this innings, he stuck his foot out and trapped it. And G Raccoon has got the Hamish emoji. Welcome in, mate. Doing well. Still doesn't make it better looking at him sat next to his dad, says Grant. Sorry, says Fleshin. My sex tape. Tell you what, for the right price,
Do I need to step in here?
Hey, Mum, how much would you think my sex tape should go for? We have fun.
Mhm.
To be fair, family has to come first, says Fleshin.
Not in a sex tape. Just saying. Right, back to the cricket.
Stark now. Second ball. Is he going to clean up his stumps, put them on the ground and say, Barak, go back to the changing rooms?
Or is he going to get his 50?
Makes it to the leg side with a single. That would have been pretty epic if he got bowled there, wouldn't he?
Or he got 2 runs and got his 50.
Sure, he's one away now. Mitchell Stark sitting on 49. It's India still, it's not a huge amount of runs per over, is it?
No.
It's just over 3. It's 3.5. So as long
Yeah.
as they bat out the rest of the time,
Yeah.
they've got a decent crack. And also, we have got there. Pat Cummins might have more subscribers than you, Hamish, but it's nowhere near as entertaining as Kiwi Lads. There's Grant.
Boring.
Although he's got some little edits that he does every once in a while. I like it.
He's probably got somebody that does that for him.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what we need.
While he's
Because
away making money in cricket. If you get $2 million to go and play the IPL, you can get someone to bloody do your stuff too.
it's always talked about how someone said, would you rather play international rugby for one season, or would you rather get into the international side or go overseas for a $2 million contract? And do you know what I answered? I said $2 million contract. Because me at my skill level, if I get put in an international jersey, I'm only getting 1 or 2 tests. So you're locking the money while it's there. They'll realise you're bad, but they've already paid you. That's a straight. Sorry for clapping, but Rahane's just done absolutely brilliantly there.
Right.
That's the shot that I dream of playing every time I make it to the crease, and I never play it. Unfortunately, it's always the cover drive rather than the straight drive, because anytime I try and hit it straight, I hit it into someone, like the bowler, and then I apologise and forget to run. There's the 200 runs now up on the board for India.
Right, yeah.
244 to go. Shot. Middle of the bat.
That was in the middle.
Head completely still.
Yep. Don't bother running for that one. Sit there and watch that one go.
144 more runs to win. There's Orit Sharma looking on. Stark again, though. 2 leg side. What's that line? I think he's gotten scared because of that straight drive. Injured finger as well for Rahane here. Still playing pretty well for that. Mid-on drive. Steers Obi. Was it mid-on or mid-off? Mid-off, wasn't it? That drive.
Yep.
Doing very well. Rahane, 36 of 92.
Mid-off drive. Yep.
Now, Mitchell
Between
Stark.
mid-off and the bowler.
How does he answer this one? He's 6 runs already off his over. I don't think they'll be giving him too many more after this. That's a bit better. That made the bat make a bit of a crackle noise. That's the end of the over.
More effort into that one.
201 for 5 now. For India,
243 needed.
95 away from what they got in the first innings. Oh, here's a prediction now for you. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, yes or no in the chat. Will India in this innings score more runs than they got in the first inning? So will they get more than 296 with them currently sitting 201? What do you think?
No.
Okay. You're saying there's going to be a collapse at some point?
Yep.
Okay. Now,
Unfortunately, because I backed them for a draw.
How much would the cash out be at this stage?
I have no idea.
You got to look at the cash out, mate. That's
once it's bet, it's bet.
Yes. Says Grant. I wish I swear he played for England as Rory Burns once, but you kept getting out, so you got a haircut and switched to Leinster Rugby under the name James Lowe. Those are the 2 players who I have been compared to quite a bit. James Lowe was one that, for a while there, I was relatively close to, but now that I've got short hair, I don't really look like anyone I can think of. Other than there's this runner for New Zealand who does its long distance running. Well, this is the catch here. See, for me, that's a catch. I know that it's controversial, but see, this is the one that I was talking about how you can't see the bottom of his shoe. But like,
pissing around with it. It was a catch.
Yeah, but that's one that they had to
Yeah,
look at
simple.
15 times, and then
Right.
Green got booed for the rest of the day.
He called it a foot above the ground.
Yeah.
Right. If you're diving, you're going to end up on the ground at some stage.
See, now they're showing Richard Kettleborough as the third umpire. I feel like that's unnecessary, isn't it?
Like it's, yeah,
Like,
like
that's just giving the Indian side some firepower.
the greatest conspiracy out. Look, he's caught that only 6 inches a foot off the ground.
Mm.
Huh?
Cam Green, oh, short ball. He's a little bit periscopy with the way that he leaves, isn't
He's
he?
hanging it out there a wee bit
That was actually the case with that one that he played above his head and swatted
before.
for 4. So they're saying that his judgment, because there was no clear conclusive evidence that the ball hit the ground, which I know will annoy a lot of fans from India, because they were saying, I checked the ICC Instagram straight away afterwards, and it just said pretty much Shipman Gill, conspiracy, sack the umpire, the game's rigged, it's against India. But Ricky Ponting, he described it pretty well about how he was hanging on to the ball. Mm. See, like, I think they need to change the rules, because that's out, in my opinion.
Look, it's out every day of the week.
But that big thing of, if there's a blade of grass, like you said, way to change it, just chop all the grass.
Cut all the
Get rid
grass.
of the grass. Easy peasy. The Indians just need to accept it and move on, says Kawasi. Yeah, the problem now, though, see, like, that looks like it's close to the ground, but you need to watch it in real time, don't you? Because if you're going to look at anything frame by frame, you're going to see mistakes. You
I
know?
didn't see Artie Savia score a try.
True. Profound words there from Uncle Irish. If you're diving, you're going to hit the ground at some stage.
Well,
True. Unless it's into a pool. That's a technicality, isn't it?
It is on a cricket field.
And some people would say that the pool would count as the ground, because it's kind of the impact zone.
You sink like I do, you'll end up on the ground at some stage.
Oh, short ball again. That's better from the time it was Barat actually leaving that one. That'll be the end of the over of Greenies. Bowled 5 on the trot, 13 runs off it. Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit like the knock-on rule for rugby for me. I feel like it needs to be similar to that. And that is, if he's got control over the ball, as long as, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still going to be some times where the ball's gone fully down and whatnot. But for the ones like that, where it might be one frame looks like he touches the ground, like, that's still a catch, you know?
It's like the separation rule in rugby.
Yeah.
When you're scoring tries, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Where you go to put the ball out and you have a smidgen of separation between the ball and your hand when you touch it on the ground.
Yeah.
Right? And they go, oh, it's no try, he's lost it. Well, he still put downward pressure on it and all the rest of it. So you have to ask the question, what's the difference between if you kick the ball through over the line and you dive on it?
Mm.
There's absolutely separation all the way, except for that one moment when the ball in your hand hit the ground together.
Oh, that was too full.
That's another beautiful drive down the ground through mid-off.
Rahane, he's found that gap, hasn't he?
If you, like you say, if you look at it in slow enough frame and all the rest of it, even when the guy has the ball in his hand, there will be separation at some stage, because although some of them have got big enough hands to actually hang on to the ball, some of them haven't. And it's not that easy to hang on to a rugby ball.
We've got to remember different angles. The fact that one angle makes them think, oh, maybe he has, and then the other angle goes, maybe he hasn't.
Yeah. And then some idiot referee goes, oh, there's separation there.
And back in. You can't swim and you dive into a pool, you drown and die and get buried. Still hitting the ground after the dive. Says Grant. Shot, says Classy. And I'll say, hey guys, sounds like a fat lady will be singing in Australia's favour today. 2 wickets. While I was teaching you, they were pretty much instantly after you were gone, Joss. This partnership, decent so far.
Yep.
Starting to build into it.
Mm-hmm. Once again, you know, I'll Rahana's had a start anyway, but now Barat's got a start.
Yep. Yeah, no Indian batsman less than 10 runs here.
No,
In fact,
they've all got a start, and and they've said all the way through basically that if you can get in on this pitch, then you're in.
Yeah. Right, changes to the field by the looks of it, bringing in a short mid wicket. Got 2 men deep on the leg side. This means it's got to be short, doesn't it? Or he's going to straight to straight. Shot. Straight to the fielder, though. Stark, I think he's going to be taken out of the attack very soon.
Well, they're asking him to bowl full, but they haven't got any protection for him.
No. They've moved point 11 metres into kind of a short cover region.
Yeah, to try and close that roll. I think the mid-off needs to be a bit straighter. You're asking him to throw it up there and try and swing it. Well, the ball's 50 overs old.
Yeah.
So you're pitching it up, but he's got no. You look at that field there. He's got one man in the protection zone for the whole of the offside. So every time he pitches it up and this guy just pushes it down the ground, it's going to be runs.
And you wouldn't expect a number 7 to hang in for 2 sessions against Australia attack with a new ball soon, says Joss. Yeah, it's going to be very tricky, although Barat, to his credit, he's a wicket-keeper batsman. So that kind of works a little bit in their favour. But any lower than that, it's going to be tough.
They've basically got 26 overs, haven't they?
Yeah, it's interesting because both times after that first wicket of Shipman Gill falling in quick succession, 2 and 3 lost pretty much instantly after each other, and that too. From Scotty Boland, that was a nice straight ball from Stark.
Yeah.
I think he's coming from too wide to get that LBW, isn't he, from that angle, or would it almost more for an edge of some
that's
sort?
That's the call normally, though, isn't it? If you get one, you can go get 2.
Yeah.
Like they said, it's hard to get in on this wicket. Hard early on. That's why it's so important that when these guys have got in, they have to have carried on.
Mid-off, yep, they are saying pretty much the same thing. Go a little bit deeper and a little bit straighter if they have got this field set and the tactic that they're going for. It's solid from Rahane to close out the 55th over, 206 for 5. Taking over quite nicely here. India's runs overall, still getting around that 4 and over. Not exactly troubled in terms of that run rate. I don't think they're going to get through all of the overs that they need to, because that would be another 75 or so for today. Like they'll be a little bit short of that, but they wouldn't be too far off, would they? 75 overs to get through. Final session, they'll have to get through quite a few more.
You're always supposed to look at 20 in the last hour.
20 or 15 in the last hour?
Oh, I thought it was always 20.
What, we're hardly getting through 20 in a session at the moment. this rate these boys are playing at. Oh, I'd love an Ashes hat. I don't know whether I'll go with the yellow. That's the thing. I like the yellow, but I don't know whether I'd have an Aussie yellow. If that makes sense. Because it's almost a little bit more, almost more of a cream yellow, doesn't it? And I was with the commentary team listening to Uncle Hamish's dad. I thought this would have been from the other end, to be honest. Instead of Stark. Green wasn't going too badly, but maybe
they might swap ends with Stark, with
Green. Unless the Lions Stark combo is what they're going for, because that has been a very effective one in the past, but that's normally when Stark has been on his A game.
Yep.
On my way home in 5 minutes, chances of getting another wicket when I get home, probably likely. It's like when...
How long does it take him to get home?
Way home in 5, so it's going to be 5 minutes time that he leaves. We're not sure how long. I'd say it's probably only a 5-10 minute drive. Maybe.
A little bit of turn there. So
I think if they get either of these two, it's going to be Barat if it's Nathan Lyon.
Okay.
That's my prediction. I think it's going to be when the overs say 59.4. I'm going to have to write that in the chat.
Really well bowled there.
59.4. That's what that thing's going to say down there when he's out.
Well, I'm picking that Nathan Lyons here is just going to spin a few back into this fella. And then he's going to put one right across him.
See if he's tempted. Oh, worked to the leg side. Nicely done by Barat. That's found a little bit of a gap here. That will be just a single. Live on campus, 5-minute walk. Oh, okay. So that's this over, next over, and maybe the next one after that if we're lucky.
Yeah.
It's not a huge amount of time, but it's possible.
Should be good. Should be good, Josh.
Who was the one who went away and then there were 2 wickets falling? Was that Grant?
Yeah. That was Grant's fault.
Grant, if he pops away and he comes back.
Grant's fault. He ruined India's hopes.
Nah. Ruined your TAB.
Killed me at the TAB.
Oh, that one didn't spin that much, but that's a great back foot punch right there.
That's a great
from
shot
Rahane.
Yeah.
And that's what they need to do early is put pressure on Nathan Lyon. You can't allow him to find his rhythm. Yep, it was me. There's Grant.
Yeah, you can't let him just sit there and bowl ball after ball after ball on the same spot.
And you aren't giving up easy. There's pads ablaze, but yeah, great back foot punch from Rahane. He is, I said that Kohli was the key earlier on. Rahane's the key.
Yep.
In this innings. Because, don't get me wrong, some of the guys below can bat a little bit. But I feel like in terms of being able to tick over the runs at a quick enough rate, Rahane will be able to help that progress towards the total. Nathan Lyon, that was the straighter ball. I'm feeling that if Rahane goes out off line, I'm feeling like hitting it into his leg and then taken close by Labuschagne for some reason.
Yeah,
that's the
trying to do what he did with that ball there.
Trying to work it
into somewhere.
I need to pop off again.
Like leading edge type thing.
Too short. Nathan Lyon there.
Easy
single to close out the over. Grant might pop away for a little bit here, so that could change it for the Indian side. Tell you what, while we're at it,
I just got to wait until Josh gets back.
We're going to go on the TAB. And we're going to have a quick look to see what the odds are for this contest. At the moment, Australia, $1.14. $12 underdogs for India and $6.70 for the draw. Now, target of 444. That's the thing. 200 and how many? 238 is not a huge amount if these two get in. Rahane at the moment, 46 of 106. He's getting close to that half century. And tell you what, he would deserve it. The way that he's played in this innings. He's dug deep when needed.
Unfortunately, he probably needs to go on and get about 150.
Yeah. But it needs to at least get 70 or so.
He's got to at least get up into the high, buddy. Yeah.
Mitchell Starc continuing his bowling, so the Starc-Lyon combination is back. What's a combination? The Lyon. The Lineup. I'm trying to combine the two. Mitchell and Nathan are two names that are also hard to combine. Nathan, Mitchan. The Mitchan combination. Mitchan kind of rolls off the tongue. I accidentally made up a thingy last night, which was Bevy Heavy, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
On a live stream last night.
Yes.
That's going to become a thing.
Okay.
Getting Bevy Heavy, which pretty much means downing a whole heap of beverages.
I figured that was.
Oh, it's the wicket. He's got Rahane. That's going to be it. I think that's going to hurt. Mitchell Starc, the Lyon Starc combination. The Mitchan. It's worked out.
I hope you run home, Joss.
Rahane gone, says Amelia Kay. But Rahane.
Run, Joss.
Yeah, 5-minute walk's going to turn into about a 2-minute run, doesn't it, for him to get home in time? Chases the wide ball just like Kohli.
Same shot as Kohli.
Didn't need to play it. He taps himself on the head straight away and says, why did I do that?
What a dummy.
Starc is back with a bang. He just needed Lyon at the other end. He just needed his buddy. Right, 46 of 108. We jinxed them. Tell you what, that'll change the odds. What is that? What are you saying now? India, $21. 28. Damn, I didn't go high enough. Almost $21 for the draw now. That will hurt them. That man's sad. As you would be. He said Starc can bowl those wickets, taking balls, and look what happened. Although, to be fair, I would argue that that wasn't per se a brilliant ball from Mitchell Starc. It was just one that Rahane got a little bit too keen on. Decided to chase it, impatient.
Played exactly the same shot There's Coley. A little bit of foot movement down the wicket and a big cover drive at it.
If anything, that one was maybe a little bit shorter for Mitchell Stark out there compared to the drives that we've seen from him.
I think
little bit earlier on.
Coley just went at it harder.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, what the odds are, India chasing $28 and $17. So I would say the chance of us India chasing this one down probably sitting at about 1% at the moment, and that's not even like exaggerating. And maybe about 1.5% chance of a draw, I would say.
not looking good.
In fact, they actually have the odds here. 3% for India, that's quite high and generous. 5% for the draw, 92% for the Aussie, oi, to get themselves a win just before the Ashes.
Yep.
At start, he needed that because you don't want to have Mitchell Stark going into the Ashes without confidence, because normally he's a danger when he's getting the wickets. He had that finger injury, which did keep him out for a couple months. There's his missus.
Who's missus?
Mitchell Stark, Elisa Healy.
Who's missus?
Yep. The daughter of who's the wicketkeeper?
Ian Healy.
Ian Healy.
Yep.
Oh, on the money first ball to
Yep.
duck her, which is what you need. Only see the danger is there's still 23 overs till the new ball.
Yeah.
And by the time we get to that stage, we're either going to have a biggish partnership between these two, or we're going to have a tail end exposed to a hard ball in English conditions that are slowly looking like they're favouring the bowlers more and more when you hit that good length. I'm excited to see when Joss comes back. And when Grant comes back as well. Oh, two very good balls.
We're just starting to attack now in Australia.
Yeah. They've said now's the time. Get this man out early, and then you start getting into the tail of Yadav Shami and also Siraj. And now it's interesting because Siraj, there was a little bit of attitude from him towards, I believe it was Steve Smith in the first innings. Because Steve Smith said, no, don't bowl it yet. And Siraj threw the ball at him. Like actually threw it, he threw it at the stumps, but in Steve Smith's direction. And then people in the comments were going, wait till he's batting. And then, Siraj might get a little bit of payback outside off something. That's carrying beautifully. But then every once in a while you get that dud that just goes down about knee high.
Yeah. No.
Stark gets the breakthrough. I was looking at him.
Session by session.
Okay, so, we're seeing a lot more of Aussie flags.
Yeah.
Even outside of day one, you've still got more.
7 sessions to 3, basically.
Oh, yeah, they actually got the counter. I didn't even realise that was there.
I didn't either.
And then 2 even sessions they have got in there as well.
And I think this session here is just about shaping up to be Australia's.
Oh, that's one that would hurt the hip if it
Tuck
ended up
your arse in
connecting.
and let that one go past.
End of the over, wicket maiden. No, one more ball. All right, getting keen. Or is it? No, it was a wicket maiden. They were just late putting it up. 2 for 6. The fact that now, see, the hard part is they're not even halfway to the runs.
No.
And, that's...
Unfortunately, I think it's just a matter of time. I think if they survive past the next new ball.
Yeah, that's the thing. 23 overs till the new ball.
Yep. Pretty bold. No.
Australia now with Nathan Lyon. But now, he isn't quite supposed to go out yet. I said 59.4 overs was when he was going to be dismissed to Nathan Lyon. That was actually my call as the next wicket, but we'll act like that didn't happen.
Okay.
And the wicket now, Lyon, that stayed a little bit flatter and lower. Bit more pitched up, though, from Lyon, which is what he needs to do. And I think he's doing that well against Barak, but when he was bowling to Rahane, he was getting a little bit too short.
He was a little bit
Trying to
short,
bang it in, wasn't he? Those glasses. Like Brett the Hitman Hart out there in the field. Slot again. From Barak. Alex Carey, first time in. He's a great player, isn't he, Alex Carey? Like, he's been a guy, once again, BBL, he was there for ages. Took until one of the captains of the Aussie side sent a dick pic to someone for him to get into this team.
That's right.
And then because of it, because of Tim Payne's wee-wee, Alex Carey gets the opportunity.
Yeah.
The way
Yeah.
cricket works, huh?
Aye. It's a funny old game. Aye. How to get dropped as an Australian captain?
Yeah.
Show us your wiener.
Well, that's the thing. They had to change the cricket 22 cover, I believe, because they had Tim Payne as the central guy.
Yeah.
And then they were like, hang on. We have to change this like 2 days before release. And then
to central about Tim Payne was his winger. Right.
They had to
back to the
change it to
cricket.
Pat. Oh, that's Plum.
What did I just tell you?
It was going to be an LBW. Yeah, they're going to go upstairs, I would think, for Thakur. But that looked very Plum.
Yeah.
That one. Is he going upstairs? He has. The only thing that can save him here is bounce.
I don't think it's saving it.
The worst thing is I do normally predict LBW. That hurts that I
It was
thought
actually
that one was
surprising
going
that
to be
you didn't
bold.
put that.
Yeah, I know.
Technically, it would have been bold if he got his leg out of the way. But
True.
I don't think this is looking good for him.
No, Thakur might be. Oh, I'll tell you what, if I go on 57.4,
Right, here we go.
this is Plum LBW. Yeah, it's not looking good for him, is it? Oh, it's got to hit him a lot higher than it's hit him to miss the stumps there. Isn't it? The start gets breakthrough, was looking at him to excel, and that was Plum LBW. Another one says Michael.
Right.
Any bet on it? She's not looking likely. And that's only hit him on the mid-roll. Unless this one does some sort of
Funny thing at the
straight
end.
sideways. Oh, it's actually pitched a bit further that way than I thought it would, but it is still going to be 3 reds. Thakur is gone, and India now 7 down. Now 25 minutes remaining in this session. So, what are we thinking? We thinking any more wickets before the end of this one, and then
No, they'll have to be 9 down to extend the session.
Question is, are they going to be though at this point?
Well, there's every chance, I think.
Hamish, that's the thing with this Indian side. Do they choke at big stage? It is happening for 10 years now. Well, luckily for them, quite a few players have been and gone over that time. But it's just one of those ones that, like, you can be a fantastic side. But in those big games, those are the ones, unfortunately, that people remember. So if you aren't able to win those big ones, and yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it is just the fact that big games come around, they just struggle, like New Zealand in the Super Over.
I think they rely heavily on a few players. Rely very, very heavily on a few players, and when those few players don't come off, the others don't seem to step up. Then it just seems to carry on. You know, if those 3 superstars crumble, then everybody else crumbles because they haven't got that person steadying influence or the buddy.
Now, yeah, Dave. 31 is his best. He's going to need 100, or in fact 201 more than that.
If you listened to me, you would have made some money.
3 wickets remaining for the Aussies to win.
Yep. What do you think this ball's going?
Straight.
This has got LBW country written all over it.
I don't know if you'll even get better. Oh, you pushed it. That one came back round. Oh, he was nowhere near it with the bat, was he?
No.
Didn't predict the spin that Nathan Lyon has.
To be fair, it did take a little chunk out of the pitch.
To be fair, this isn't really looking too much like a day 5 pitch, in my opinion. I feel like day 1 was looking like about a day 3 pitch, but it's kind of stayed.
Oh, that's the one that goes straight.
Beautiful
past.
ball.
That's beautifully bowled. Beautifully bowled.
End of the over.
Spin a couple into him, and then just let one go straight past the outside edge.
Was it on purpose, though? That looked like he did have the revolutions going that way. I think that one's just hit the seam and gone. I think it's straight in there. Oh, they have no option to go back 10 seconds. I don't want to try and bugger it, but I'm going to go.
No, don't do it.
They'll show it here. I think he tried to rip it, and it's bit a little bit more than he expected. Look at this. Look at this. Are they going to show the replay? No. I went back too far. We go back to live now. Right, Barrett. Mitchell Stark, the bowler. This has Yorker written all over it. No, he's gone a
No,
little bit
not to
shorter.
this guy.
Now to this man, probably.
This has got it.
Or lazy running. That's going to be extra runs, and that means now Barrett is going to remain on strike. That is not what they would have wanted there. India are in
No, he
trouble,
just
says
gets
Spencer
fired.
Blaze.
You just get
I thought he goes back on strike. No? Sit down. Cam Green. Who was backing up? No one, because they didn't realise that anyone was supposed to be there. India are toast, says Tony there. Disappointed.
that doesn't help you.
Nah, Barrett's
does
back on, yeah. Oh, yeah, because I guess because he hadn't run the single at the time, it just becomes 4
Oh.
rather than overthrows.
Oh, okay.
Maybe?
Oh.
Is that correct?
Maybe.
We'll go with it.
Yeah, because they've only given him 4, haven't they?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a gift. Although that is your Dav on strike, so they've changed it now
Yeah,
to
they have.
5.
Yeah.
Oh, he has no foot movement. Those feet were rock solid in the concrete.
Nailed it to the ground. It's probably a good thing he didn't go for the Yorker there, otherwise it would have hit him on the foot
Yeah, that would have
No.
bloody hurt.
because his feet didn't move anywhere.
And he tried to be fair,
He's
but
given a look at all 3 stumps and then hung the bat out at about 5th stump.
you got to just put the ball on the stumps here, don't you?
Yep.
Oh, there's your Davs.
Ah, yeah.
First innings dismissal. Just aim for the stumps is the comment from Nasser Hussain.
Yep.
Is that going to be the case here? Because he doesn't seem like he likes to protect them. Must be
No.
a great bowler. Oh, it's close again for Stark. This is a training drill at the moment.
That must have been just over the top, was it?
Only just, and maybe a
No.
little bit off to the left, if anything.
No. He's given him a look at all 3 stumps and he's coming in. Jesus. Oh,
Just missing the zinger bail. And I know it's happened again, says Grant. It did. 2 more down, says Joss. Yep.
yeah.
Yep, you went away, and the double whammy took place
Killing me,
again.
Grant.
Now, I mean, we're not too far off another wicket by the looks of this. My question is, how did Yadav get 5 in the first innings?
5 runs.
Yeah, must have just swung, I guess,
Probably
or
got an
edge.
Might have got a good solid-
Look at this
might have
field.
got a good solid edge.
They've got everyone back. They're saying if you want to play us straight, but just get bat on ball. Oh, okay, no,
Yep.
they're bringing the men in. I apologise, says Grant. I'm sure he'll forgive you, Grant. Definitely if there's a wicket here, because then it will well and truly summarise it. Here comes Stark. He's hit one. A little bit too straight from Stark.
Well, he had to. It was coming into his pads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, I have a question.
Mhm.
If this man bats 9,
Yeah.
10 and 11,
Doesn't actually give you a lot of faith, does it?
I'm sure 10 and 11 are decent, though.
I think they're only decent if they're
Like-
swinging.
Yeah, Shami, he hits a few runs in his
Yeah.
time, doesn't he? But,
I think it's the old scenario. If they're allowed to swing, they can hit the ball.
yeah.
If they've got to defend, they can't. This guy doesn't really look like he's got a defensive technique, to be honest.
Not particularly, no.
Uh,
Just start. Oh, that's a waste of ball.
Yeah.
Got to get it on his stumps.
I think he's just trying to set him up for a full ball here, I think.
I think if Barat goes out, they'll extend the session.
Well, they might do looking at this one, but
But then do they take into equation the batter's skill or just the batter's number? Because if you look at a batsman and say 9 should be able to
Yeah.
go all right.
Yeah.
What is
if
Scotty bowling?
Barat goes out,
Mhm.
8 down, they won't extend it.
Okay. So they need 2 quick fire bang bang in the next.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got 18 minutes. That's like 5 overs, isn't it? Shot.
Solid.
Solid from the end. I'm kind of rooting for him now. You know? I'm worried for Barat at the other end though, because on the 4th ball of this over, he's going out.
Mm.
That was my prediction from the start. You know what? I'm going to put it up on the screen so everyone knows. That's the ball that Barat's going out. He'll get a single on the 3rd ball, and then there'll be no. Well, there might still be a
Run
wicket.
him out.
You know what? If that's correct, or if that's not correct, if he doesn't go out on Well, the thing is it the 53rd or 59.3 ball or the 59.4? Hmm. But I will give you $1.
You're on dishes for a month.
Dishes for a month. That's a long time.
That'll leave me.
Hmm. How about if there's a wicket beforehand?
Oh no, that's all right. Grant's not leaving the stream again.
Just to keep Barat at the crease.
That was lucky.
Nathan Lyon now. Stepping across, big swing.
Wow.
Okay, so Barat's just decided might as well have a bit of a crack. Did they take one or do they take... Oh, they get one. Uh-oh. This is LBW all over it, doesn't it? Well, no, because he doesn't defend his stumps with his pads, so he's just got bowled. He'll have a swing, though, I think. Kind of got to, doesn't he? Because he's out there kind of just taking some deep breaths going, I don't know what I'm doing.
He's just trying to work out why that guy, buddy.
Yeah, why he was so slow getting going, wasn't he? Oh,
Catch! Oh,
they need another man in close. Come on, you Dev. Get him to 10 runs. Shot. Down the ground, well fielded though by Paddy Cummins, the skipper.
I'll tell you what, Lyons is just thinking, this is...
He's waiting. He's building it up, isn't he?
Country here.
I think he'll be more disappointed if he doesn't get the wicket in the next 3 balls.
Catch.
Off the outside edge. That'll work. 2 runs there. I hope that they run it hard. No, they've just taken 1. Oh.
Yep.
Which now means this ball.
Now they're going to go and have a talk to each other about what they're actually trying to achieve.
This ball now is the ball that I predicted that there would be a wicket of Barat. For $1. Huge money on the line. Can he get him? Might be quite hard to do. You know. All right, though, Nathan Lyons. Still got 15 minutes remaining in the session as well, we should mention. Here comes Gaza. For the ball.
No, 4th ball's already gone. That's the 5th ball though.
But that's like that was the 59.4 ball, you know. Yeah, I messed up. It wasn't that ball. We'll just hide that. Didn't quite get it right in the end, sadly. Almost had it. Last ball over. It's going to be Barat, and then Yadav will be facing off.
Right. I'm try and keep him on strike.
Quite an attacking field. Yeah, the gap really on that leg side, working it off the pads.
They've got the man out with the sweep.
And that will be fielded. No run taken. End of the over, 220 for 7. Right. Barat has gone to the non-striker's end. That's a miniature fan with a button on it. That's a bit fancy. It looks like it folds up too, doesn't it? Oh, he's dressed up well and truly for the occasion. Miss Tendulkar. He's got written on this. Right.
Very bizarre setup.
Mitchell Stark to Yadav.
You already put that on, didn't you?
No. Maybe.
Yeah, you already got that on.
Yeah. 1 run off 10 balls. I'm convinced now that my presence on the stream is keeping India's hopes alive. I think it is.
Yeah.
I think at this stage, you might be their lucky charm, Grant.
Nah, you've sold him up the river, Grant. Overall.
To be fair, he's gone away twice in 2 sets of 2 wickets.
Come back for the Ashes, you can ruin someone else's career.
He doesn't mean it, Grant. Grant doesn't Grant doesn't like mangoes. Are you a fan of mangoes?
A little bit.
Grant hates the things.
Oh, yeah.
We hold against him. 3 more wickets to win for the Aussies. 13 more minutes. The sad thing is there's a chance we might have to wait 40 minutes to see 3 overs bowled or something like that.
Yeah.
But we will, won't we? We'll be up and ready to go.
What was that other one we lost that time?
Oh.
They survived the day and then they lost the wicket on the 5th ball of the day, I think.
Yeah. Was that Aussie versus someone? Or it might have been South Africa versus someone.
Yeah.
We got all excited to start the stream. Oh, that's an ugly bouncer. What a take that is from Alex Carey. That is out. That is going to be they've gone the short ball. Unfortunately for it was coming at some stage, wasn't it? And that's the thing. Some people might be like, that's rude of him to bowl a bouncer to a tail ender.
It's number 9.
Yeah, but people will still, they'll find a way of complaining about it. But at the end of the day, he wasn't expecting it.
It's not.
And
He hasn't bowled consistently.
Oh. Did he hit? Yeah, there was 2 noises, wasn't there? That one just didn't really look like it. Right, they've got 12 minutes to get a wicket so that my dad can get to bed at an early-ish time. Yeah, it's the glove. Another one bites the dust. Have I got a base that's deep enough to go boom, boom, boom? No, that's not right.
I'll sing. Another one bites the dust. Right, no.
All right, listen. That's not it. That's still not it. It's somewhere around there. You know that one.
Right.
Have they not seen our track record? Says India right for relying on the South African to bring them luck in a cricket match. Now 8 down. 10 minutes remaining.
Yep.
2 wickets away from this World Test Championship. I'm going to get an early night tonight. Do you know what the original plan was? It was going to stay up right through the full day if it did happen. Go to bed at about 6:30 a.m. Wake up in time for Mum to get home from work. I was actually going to make her lunch as well. And then we were going to end up tidying some stuff. So I was going to be running off somewhere around the 6 hours sleep. But now...
Mum's if you're going golfing, you'll be able to get your shit sorted while she's at work.
What?
Good boy. Right.
Am I going golfing?
Stark to Sami.
Play by Shami. That's a good catch from Alex Carey. He's a good keeper as well. That's one benefit. Like, he bats well and he keeps well.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're not just relying on him for one of the 2 is pretty massive for the Aussies. Who's their backup keeper, by the way, in their Ashes squad? No, not Josh Inglis. Is he? No, who's... That's a good question for the chat. Does anyone know who Australia's backup is for if Alex Carey's injured? Because none of the players out there on the field keep, do they? That I can think of. Oh, that's a shot. Rammed over the top of the slip corner for 4 runs. Shami says if you're going to bowl it short with pace, going out there. Swan Blue Wings versus Ichun United. J-League Hamish. 0-0. Nice. I'd be lying if I said I've ever heard of either of those sides. Other than maybe Itchin. Maybe we've played them on FIFA before.
Yeah, I've seen that name before. Yep.
And Auntie's Hamish's mum going to play golf. When will she have time to watch the Western Province versus Sharks game from yesterday? I'm sure she'll find time at some stage. She'll watch the Kiwi Lad stream just like everyone should. Is he the only reserve keeper? Oh, great work again from Alex Carey. So that's the thing, though. I'd say if they lose Alex Carey, they're in real danger. Because, don't get me wrong, Travis said, I haven't seen a huge amount of him keeping, but I don't imagine he is the same level as Carey.
He's the worst keeper in the world, though, I think.
No, he's got good reflexes from what we've seen of him playing in close, but will that affect his batting? Because he's used to going out there having a bit of a whack around and then get those quick fire runs, which is probably ideal for a batsman keeper because you don't want to be out there for 5 days batting and keeping. Shot. That'll do. Over the top from Shami. It's an outside edge, but it goes down to deep.
Big thick edge.
Third man.
Right. I think they might bring Pat Cummings and Boland back here shortly.
You think?
Yep.
Even though these 2 picking up wickets, you're going to change that combo.
I think they might change Stark a wee bit.
Yeah, because how many?
I just think he's just not quite getting enough balls in the right place.
How many has he bowled on the trot?
4 now, has he?
Travis Michael Head, fielding position, wicketkeeper, ESPN. Although ESPN have also had a few things wrong in the past, but they've got that one right. I looked up MMA fighters from Fiji on ESPN, and I found a whole heap of random names.
Did you?
Yep, they had some cool nicknames, though.
Yep.
The Flying Fijians. Kevin Green, disappointed to not get to that one. You know, if it goes over his head, it's probably a bit high for a catching chance.
I
6'7" of the man.
can't believe he didn't catch it.
Oh, here comes Nathan Lyon. Gazza's having another crack at Barat. Johnny's keen for the single. Did you see that? About 5 steps down the pitch. He wouldn't mind facing the spin, I don't think. Even though it would be tricky, it's not as bad as facing Mitchell Stark.
Yeah, he would probably prefer to be down that end, I believe.
I mean, it was a good call from you saying that they'd finish less than the 296. But, great work from Kerry. Chance with the stumping here.
Have a look, but it's not out.
Yeah, there was a bit of an excitement there from the Aussies for a start, but then they decided
They're only going upstairs for a bit.
Use up a bit more time, get it towards lunch.
Yeah.
Got 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, we can play Xbox in the lunch break. Come back for the
this shouldn't take too long.
Come back for the last 2 wickets. Ideal. Is that what the third umpire just said?
Get on with it.
Yeah, I thought I heard him say, "Get on with it, please."
Hurry up.
Right. So we know he was out of his crease at one point.
Right, here we go.
But what's this angle going to show? Oh, no, yeah. Oh, he's on the line there.
What is he actually got his foot back?
And is there a line? Because that line looks like it's pretty roughed up where his foot is. So that might be tricky to tell, but...
Oh, so he hasn't hit it?
No.
This he might be really closer than it looks.
Oh, he's in just narrowly. But fair play, it was actually closer than first anticipated. It's a good stretch back, though, from him, isn't it? To be able to get back in.
He was short by smidgen to start with. He had to go again, didn't he?
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Right, 5 minutes remaining of the session. If we see one more wicket, they will extend it more than likely.
Free Nelson Mandela, they did, didn't they?
And free him from death. Our magic is not powerful enough for that yet, says Grant. Fun fact.
They freed him and then they buried him, didn't they? Or I got that slightly wrong.
Oh, nice big stride into that block. Fun fact, Western Force have signed Harry Potter.
Wow. Magic.
He is going to be heading there for the next season.
Imagine the advertising you could do with that.
Yep. Well, he was playing for the Leicester Tigers and I never shut up about it. You know, there's so many puns you can use. Magical run down the wing. Oh, that's gone straight up in the air. Has he just made it so that the session, it's taken by line. Caught him bold. Well, she would have been paying a bit on the old TAB. But that is going to be... No, it's TAB.
Is that the B-Rat?
Other. That would be... Oh, no. Would that be counted as caught? Up the Aussies is AFL. So that is now the 9th wicket. That is Barat. We'll still have time to play Xbox before bed. Eh?
Who's AFL's Legends' favourite AFL team?
Oh, that's a good question. AFL Legend, who is your favourite side in the AFL? And how are they doing? Do let us know their rank as well, seeing as the AFL season has got underway. They really let that licensing go here in New Zealand. I swear there's only maybe 1 or 2 games a week if lucky.
Yeah, there's not too much on. It's quite disappointing, actually, because it's quite good to watch.
Yeah.
But it's better to watch live than what it is on TV.
It's probably one of those few sports that are better in some regards live. Because, you know, like rugby, it's great live for the atmosphere side of things. But the AFL, I feel like watching it without the atmosphere, just the players, if that makes sense, is... But my favourite Aussie cricket players of all time, Ponting and Warne, says a Cepho. Very class players indeed.
Ponting's not a bad golfer either. It's quite surprising how many of those guys are actually good golfers.
I think it's almost... It almost just shows that the hand-eye coordination
Yeah.
or like the skill of being able to hit the cricket ball,
Mm.
the wrists is probably where they get it from, isn't it?
Maybe. Yep.
Strong wrists, strong forearms. Bring back Buck. Says Tony, I don't know whether or not Buck would still want to run around at this point. Right, Mohammad Siraj, they're not going to give him too much of a bounce reaction from Nathan Lyon, I wouldn't think. Actually just bowls 120 and tries to take his head off. That would get him booed out of the country, wouldn't it?
I'm just trying to think. It's funny. There was this one of that funny.
Yep. Was it Sandeep Labashane? No. It was one of the guys in the BBL, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think it was Sandeep. I've learned that he's actually, I think he might be going to prison at some stage, old Sandy, unfortunately. Which is a shame because he's a good player. One more wicket in the Aussies have won, says Shannon. And which win? Are you rate high New Zealand win or Australia win in the World Test Championship, says Coding. New Zealand's one went more down to the wire, didn't it?
Yeah, we're going to rate New Zealand's one higher than this Australian.
Big hug from Nathan Lyon to Cam Green. The thing is, I really like Nathan Lyon because there was a time where Cam Green was not getting wickets and he was bowling badly. He wasn't batting well. And pretty much all of the players around him in the Aussie team pretty much just stopped talking to him. But Nathan Lyon was always the guy who went over to him, gave him a pat on the back, and just kind of tried to help him through. And it actually came through on one where they mic'd up Nathan Lyon for a test match and kept on going over, checking on Cam Green. And, like, that's the kind of thing you want rather than just everyone going, oh, he's bowling badly. We'll leave him over there. Yeah, getting ducks. Stay over there.
Right. Mitchell Stark, clean up the innings, is it?
Shami on strike. Oh, shot. There's some of that. Lofted. Straight drive.
Lofted on drive.
From Shami. Nathan Lyon was probably passing up the sandpaper. No, they don't do that anymore. They're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure if they were, Warner would be king.
Mm-hmm.
Only one away from World Test Championship glory is Amelia Kay, and it is just around the corner. I feel like for a lot of Australians, it is now starting to sink in, isn't it? Trans-Tasman World Test Champions.
Yes.
Hey?
Yep. Go to the Southern Hemisphere.
Down in the little corner of the world.
Yep.
Mitchell Stark's got 3 poles to aim at. He decides to go against it and gets hit to the boundary on the leg side for another 4 runs. I can see why you said to take him off. Cummins was happy with that shot and Stark to fire short stuff and bounces now, says Tony. But that's the thing. There's no next test match between these two sides. So he doesn't really benefit from hitting Shami with the ball, does he? Like, it's dirty.
He's just going to knock over his poles.
As dirty as it does sound.
If you fall into a tail end of you're going to be hitting the base of the stumps.
If it was up against England, they might have done a little bit more dirty bowling. But
and Ricky Ponting's just alluded to that. He's got the ability to hit the base of off stump. That's where he should be aiming. No.
Goes on the leg side. Might have got the glove, though. And it's given.
Yeah.
And they
Just
might.
picked it up with a dog shit ball.
Do they bother going upstairs or do they just claim it? I think they've claimed it in the Aussies. Going to be World Test Championship victors. TV umpire to director. This might not be over. I think it hits something, though. This is a weird anticlimax, isn't it? Yeah. Travis Eddie's like, oi.
It's all glove and crap on the way through. It's a dog ball down leg side. No. There it is. Dog shit rubbish that gets a wicket.
Or hip.
Was it?
I think it's at the hip. I think it's at the hip. Oh, balls. I think it's hit the hip. I think he hasn't been able to catch up with it. We're still playing, ladies and gentlemen. It's hit him in the bum.
Hit it.
What?
Hey.
What?
That's an ass job.
He's hit it with his ass.
That's an ass job.
That'll be called as not out.
Yeah, good work. Hey, dog shit ball didn't deserve a wicket.
No. Let's see if he can do it right this time. That man's very happy. He still thinks there's a chance of chasing down this 444.
I actually think that umpire was looking for an early lunch.
He was hesitant, wasn't he? But he was like, yeah.
So he thought, right, we'll add a bit of shit to it. I'm funny hungry. Hey.
Still alive, says Grant. Right. Mitchell Stark, he's gone 4. He's gone 4. He's gone almost a wicket, but it's a dot. And now
it should have gone for 4 as well.
Just put it on the stumps.
Aye.
Mitchell Stark, 2 wickets picked up so far throughout his 13 overs. Puts it a little bit short. They will work the ball for 1. Oh, okay. Now Siraj is on strike. I feel like there's going to be a short ball here. You know?
Man who's had the ability to bowl those big and swinging Yorkers.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the ball's not going to swing that much. It's 62 overs old.
Still,
But
144 Ks or so, you know.
140K, base of the stumps.
They're still nil. Those two
Okay.
playing.
76 minutes gone or 76 minutes?
76 minutes gone, I'd say.
All right.
Right, Stark again. Siraj on strike. He's only faced 1 delivery. Picked up his fair share of wickets for India.
Yep.
In Stark.
Right.
Bit better, but it's outside off stump. I think Nathan Lyon's going to be the man to do it.
Yep.
Because Stark's kind of blown it. Gone for 9 runs in the over. He's got 1 ball left. I mean, he'll probably get it now that I've said that he's blown it. Australia need 1 wicket to win. This is, like, in a way, this is ideal for us. Because it means that I won't be up till 5:30 a.m.
Oh, good.
But probably will still be up till like 3 a.m. Just editing. Now,
here we go.
put a ball on the stumps. This will be the first. Maybe he got better. It's going to be worked off the pads nicely by Siraj. They'll take the single.
Right.
And he will now have to strike to Nathan Lyon. And thanks for the stream, Q lads. Baggy Green, congrats. Says Michael. LBW. You're thinking LBW shout for the final wicket of the day? I trust you. Or is it going to go straight through Siraj? I like having this couch here because anytime my leg gets slightly, like, you know when you sit on a chair for a long time? I just put both legs up.
Oh, stumped. $19 for stumped.
I'm sideways. Can you tell it kind of works better if I'm sideways. Although it does look like we're in a weird direction, doesn't it? The stadium fell over. That's close. The stadium's gone bang.
Right, we've had a little technical issue.
It's fallen down.
Right. Look out, you've got my ears.
There we go. Stadium's back up.
Ah, good.
They say
Right.
Rome wasn't built in a day, but I just built a stadium in about 2 minutes. 2 seconds
Right.
it was.
Here we go.
Right, Nathan Lyon. Here he goes. Solid again from Siraj. It's all falling apart. He's great.
It's gone.
It's just the waiting for it. Like we didn't have anything bad behind it, eh?
Fire.
Yeah. Is your dad next to you, bro? He is. This is my dad, I think. Oh, why is he reverse sweeping straight to bowling? What a way to end the World Test Championship.
God. Right.
Oh, that's going to be a quiz question in
That's
like
exactly
5
what
years'
you want,
time.
isn't it? Your number 11 suddenly decides that I can play a reverse sweep.
And to his credit, it wasn't a bad hit. It's just there was a fielder there.
He hit it 20 metres.
Yeah, but if there was a fielder, it's going to be all right. I'm going to get you to build my house for me. He's a good builder. Built a few of them about. But Australia beat India by 209 runs.
Well done, Australia. Actually, a pretty poor effort by India. Our apologies if we offend any Indians and all the rest of it, but quite frankly, that was a pretty piss poor effort by supposedly the number 2 team in the world.
They just lost wickets at the wrong times. I think it's a big one. Like losing them in groups of 2.
Right from day one, when they changed their first change bowler, right from day one.
That was old Yadav too, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were poor.
Just didn't get it
I'm
right.
actually surprised that they put them down as winning 3 sessions.
Congrats to the Aussies. They're now the World Test champions. I didn't say stop clapping, says Pads Ablaze. And begrudgingly, congrats, Australia, you horrible bastards, says Grant. Well done, Aussie. Won it from day one, really, says Tony. Yeah, after that first big day, they were in the box seat the whole way through.
Right from the first session, India put pressure on with the 2 opening bowlers. And then
But yeah, that'll be a quiz question 5 years' time. What shot was played for Australia to win their first World Test Championship? And the answer is reverse sweep.
I bet Scotty Boland never thought that he was going to get a catch like that.
No.
Eh?
And at the toss,
On the
India,
last wicket, he'd be standing out there thinking, "Well, I'm pretty much redundant here because this is getting whacked to the onside." And then what do? We do a reverse sweep.
at the toss, India chose wrong decision, and dropping Ashwin was a huge mistake, says Coding.
It certainly was an interesting tactic.
Because they must have been relying on, because there was no spin or lack of spin, they thought.
Yeah.
So they drop a spinner, and you also decide that you don't want the final day worth of really bowling, in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're sacrificing that.
Yeah.
First of probably many of the World Test Championship trophies going the way of the Aussies.
Oh, yeah.
Reverse sweep. That's a nice shot.
It's going to be OW if you missed it.
No. I know. Scotty Boland, he was celebrating that one. Cummins slaps his chest a couple of times, hitting the Aussie logo there. But nonetheless, we do thank you all very much for tuning into this commentary.
Apologies for costing you money at the TAB. But
no, that's all right.
To be fair, I did not know that number 11 was going to play a reverse.
You did cost yourself money at the TAB calling a draw. We were a wee bit away from that. The Aussies are going to be insufferable during the Ashes, says Grant. It's all right.
That'll be right.
You just got to
get them
reason
hiding in the first game, and then that'll steer them right.
Yeah, because then theoretically they become World Test champions. Right?
Hey, we beat the World Test champions. Yeah.
And also, Hamish, you were planning to commentate the whole day, but this happened so fast. See, that's the thing. Now I can say I was going to do every second, and I was going to do a 3-hour after post-test match show. But now that it's finished early, we go to bed. Thanks, Hamish and Uncle Hamish's dad. There's Grant there. Yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. We're going to be back for the Ashes, which is just around the corner. They start at 10
They
p.m.
didn't get close to their first inning score.
They didn't. First one, 16th of June, which is in 5 days' time. Starts on it. What a terrible day for it to start on a bloody Friday. Friday night. It's not going to be. We'll get it done, won't we?
Will that be Super Rugby final weekend?
It is, yeah. But Super Rugby, I believe both games are early because they're in New Zealand. So they'll be 7:05 and 7:05. I don't know if they've. Yeah, there we go. Friday night, it's Crusaders Blues. Saturday night, it's Chiefs Brumbies. So that works perfectly for us, really. Good night, all. Sleep well. Or need to sleep for work. A good one, says Beds Blaze. You too. And
Crusaders Brumbies final.
Mate, need a show on. Yeah, could be a decent one. It'll be at Orange Theory Stadium as well. You go up for it. Would you actually, if it was in Christchurch, would you know?
I wouldn't pay money.
Mate needs a show on the Rugby World Cup odds, starting to put the wages on now. Says Tony. Yeah, it's a tricky one to predict, isn't it, the old World Cup, because it's still changing in terms of those odds. I know that France are first at the moment for favourites over the
Rugby World Cup.
Yeah. Are we talking? Yeah, Rugby World Cup and France currently favourites. Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a lottery.
Yeah.
The Rugby World Cup.
It's going to be who doesn't hurt themselves the most in their group stage on one side of the pool, I feel.
Well,
France are favourites to beat the Kiwis in the first game, fun fact.
What have we got? An absolute bash for our buddy warm-up game for it.
Yep. For some reason, someone thought it would be a good idea, probably someone from the Northern Hemisphere, decided that it would be a good idea to have New Zealand versus South Africa 1 week beforehand. All that's going to do is injure all your players.
Brilliant.
Chiefs winning this year, says Padza. Argentina, $31. They aren't a bad side. Yeah, it will be interesting. Romania, they're going to win the whole thing. People love to hear that.
Aussie $11, they'll win it.
You think? Aussie World Cup in France? Tell you what, there's been some history between those two sides in the World Cup, though, hasn't there?
From the very first one.
But nonetheless, we do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. I'm just very quickly just had the remembering that we will also be doing State of Origin, myself and my dad, because he's my buddy. So, fun. is going to be taking place on the 21st of June. So that is only 10 days away. Drinking? Yeah, you have plenty of beverages on that one. You boys are the best. Says Tony, and the box with AB's game is a money grab only. Yeah, it's a money grab and it's strategic to try and injure players before a big World Cup.
4 injuries. Four
Combined?
Yeah,
Combined.
4 injuries I'm picking out of that game.
Mm.
4 people out of the World Cup.
I'm putting my house on Wales winning the World Cup. After the World Cup takes place.
Oh, Wales.
Keen?
No. It's Whole house.
I'm
Oh.
not even keeping a room.
Oh,
Flesh and good man.
good luck.
Mm. I would like to see a new winner in a certain extent.
I think Wales are the equivalent of India and the World Test champions.
Oh no. They're going to go far and then blow it.
No, they always do.
Mm.
Regardless of how they've gone in the Six Nations and all the rest of it, when Wales get to the World Cup, they're always all they get beaten. Fuck Shelford single-handedly beat them up one year.
Chat said, hey Hamish, what time cricket start on TV? It is finished. The match is over. The Aussies victorious. They won by 209 runs in the end, bowling the Indians out for 234 after they had the target of still another 210 more on the boss. I've not told the boss that, though. I agree with Uncle Hamish's dad, says Grant. And there goes up. Yeah, nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We might see this man next to me for a couple of the Ashes sessions, perhaps at some random point. Might end up tuning in. And then also, like I mentioned, State of Origin on the 21st of June. Get back to that, won't you? State of Origin.
Bring back the Biff.
Nonetheless, do appreciate you all being there. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all for the next